There's just one place to get our lowest payment on a new Acura Integra. $229 a month. It's the season of performance event at Acura of Pembroke Pines, #1 in the USA.
When presenting an award to an employee, athlete, executive, or fantasy GM, make sure you call Orvieto's Awards and More. For 35 years, these custom award specialists have been providing plaques, trophies, custom framing, while providing state-of-the-art laser and computerized engraving, UV printing, and glass crystal etching. They do all their engraving and printing in-house for quality control. Call Charles at 305-949-8098 or visit them at orvietosawards.com. Orvieto's Awards and More, where recognition is rewarding.
Set the rhythm of your smart home with Sloman Shield Link, the new integrated smart home platform that automates your life just the way you want it. Sloman Shield Link. Be the maestro of your own home.
For over 16 years, EJDconstruction.com has provided South Florida residents quality craftsmanship, accurate project management, and exceptional service. That's why EJDconstruction.com is an A-rated member of Angie's List and the Better Business Bureau. When you're looking for the right custom home builder for additions or home remodeling, please call my friend Eric at 305-433-4843. That's 305-433-4843 for EJDconstruction.com.
It's game day at Toyota of Hollywood. Our all-stars are here to give you our MVP experience. Join the fun and feast on discounts up to $4,500. Huddle up and score big on a 25 Corolla. Not $26,000, $17,988. It's a tailgate party you don't want to miss. So gobble up the savings at the #1 volume Toyota dealer. Toyota of Hollywood on 441 between Hollywood Boulevard and Sheridan Street. Open till midnight.
It starts every morning before the sun comes up. Projects are laid out. Plans are made. Equipment is fueled and loaded with inventory to handle all service requests. Orders are given to an army of skilled landscape maintenance professionals, certified arbor trimmers, irrigation technicians, and licensed pest management experts who fan out to communities and businesses all over South Florida. Experienced, on time, and dependable. Our staff is fully trained, licensed, and insured. Contact us by phone, email, social media, or through our website to answer all your landscape questions. We are Cutter's Edge. Total Landscape Solutions.
After 40 years, the Big Cheese Miami is still producing great Italian food. They started in 1984. Since then, they've been winning awards while being voted the best inexpensive Italian restaurant in Miami. Visit them for great food, amazing service. Witness the decades of Cane's memories. The walls are like a Miami Hurricanes Hall of Fame. The Big Cheese delivers anything on its menu or party platter menu to your home, office, or even a park for a picnic. Located at 8080 Southwest 67th Avenue, Miami. Call 305-662-6855. TheBigCheeseMiami.com, where they serve large portions at family prices.
When it comes to your smile, confidence is so important. At Moody S Dental, they provide the services to get your smile back. This family-run practice prides itself by offering the latest technology to give your family the best experience possible. Moody S. Dental has been in business for over 30 years with offices in Hialeah and Plantation. They accept most major dental insurances. They provide free new patient exams, 20% off select treatments. To qualify, please follow us on Instagram at moodys.dental. Moody S. Dental has been in business for over 30 years. To schedule an appointment in Hialeah, call 305-821-0231 and Plantation 954-692-6825. From Invisaligns, dental implants, same-day crowns, and the preventative care and preservation to get your smile back. Go to moodysdental.com to find out more and tell them Big O sent you.
Price, service, selection. Get all this and more at South Florida's #1 loved Subaru store. Subaru of Pembroke Pines. Save today with our 3 ways to save. 0% financing, 0 down payment, or make no payments for 90 days. From Subaru of Pembroke Pines.
Welcome to Caneswear. New store, new items, same great experience. Family owned and operated since 2010, Caneswear has the latest merchandise from the Miami Hurricanes, Miami Dolphins, Florida Panthers, Inter Miami CF, and more. Come visit us at our store in Davie on University Drive, just south of 595, or online at caneswear.com. Caneswear, the spot Miami fans shop.
If you're looking to take your home or business to the next level, then RM Contractors can assist you. RM specializes in new residential turnkey, new commercial turnkey, home and office remodeling. Call them for free estimates. Serving all of South Florida, licensed and insured. Call Ray, 305-345-3649. You work hard to create the perfect atmosphere. You dream it, we'll build it. RM Contractors, 305-345-3649. Or Instagram at RMC Fisher Island.
Hi, this is Jeff Welt from Welton Rayom. Dan and I have been in business together for over 22 years. We're not your typical lawyers. When Dan's not working in the office, he's flying his stunt plane. When I'm not in the office, I'm either getting tattooed, bowling, riding a motorcycle, or going to concerts. We might not be your typical attorneys, but we are aggressive attorneys, and we'll do whatever it takes to get you what you deserve. Consultations are always free. Call us anytime, 24/7.
Welton Rayom can help.
There's just one place to get our lowest payment on a new Acura ADX. $239 a month. It's the season of performance event at Acura of Pembroke Pines, #1 in the USA.
The viewpoints, statements, or beliefs expressed on the following program by the host, guests, or callers are not necessarily the opinions of FantasyXS.com, Media Group Inc. ownership, management, sponsors, or website.
Good morning, boys and girls, on a beautiful Monday, February 16th, 2026, on a President's Day. It is day number 19,023 since the Miami Dolphins won the Super Bowl. It is day number 8,806 since the Miami Hurricanes were national champions. Welcome aboard. Welcome aboard. The great Sean Stanley is driving and mastering the program like he always does. We will address your comments, your questions on the chat board. You can hit the like button. You can smash the notification bell. That way you know when we go live, just in case. It's not at 10. It might be at 11. It might be at noon. It might be breaking news. It might be a pregame. It might be a postgame, whatever.
The notification bell tells you when we're going live, gives you even a heads up that we're going to be going live in 30 minutes, So stuff like that is good because, your life is all over the place, and so you're busy. Hit the notification bell. That will help you out. And, of course, you can make a donation to the show, Cash App or Venmo at Cash Big O Show. That is Cash Big O Show, Cash App or Venmo. You can make a Bitcoin, Ethereum, Chainlink, or Solana donation, of course. Somebody made a what's it called? What was that one that I'm actually not invested in? Litecoin, and I appreciate that. Roger, by the way, that made it. I found it on the Venmo thing finally. But thank you, Roger, for the Litecoin donation. I appreciate that immensely. Very nice of you, sir. I did convert it to Bitcoin because I'm not a Litecoin guy, but maybe you're a Litecoin guy, so that's why you said it. But either way, thank you. That was very nice of you. And appreciate all of you. You can send your questions, comments, insults. We always encourage Cash App and Venmo over the Super Chats. We appreciate the Super Chats, of course. If you don't have Cash App or Venmo, send the Super Chats. But they take 30% on YouTube, whereas Cash App or Venmo takes nothing. So there you go. Of course, you can visit our amazing sponsors. I just went to my sponsor last week, Caneswear, and I got this new Dolphins hat, which you can get with our code BIGO10. You will get 10% off there at Caneswear. If you're looking for a Dolphins hat, you know me, I always have to add a Dolphins hat with the old logo on it. So as long as I can find a Dolphins hat with an old logo, I will probably add it to my collection. And I've got a lot of them. I've got tons. Too many. Anyway, maybe I'll tell the wife that when I check out in the world, I got to have a concert shirt on and a Dolphins hat. What the hell, right? Take one of them with me. What the hell, right? It is what it is. Anyway, Ira Winderman will join us today on the show. So we'll discuss all things Heat and NBA in our Acura of Pembroke Pines Miami Heat and NBA report with the one and only Ira Winderman. A loaded weekend, dude. Canes, basketball, USA hockey, Fort Lauderdale United, Miami Heat and Keshad Johnson, Dolphins now making some news, all kinds of stuff, man. I mean, there's I have so much stuff to talk about. I am sure that this is going to take me a while. So a lot of stuff on the noggin to talk about overall. So we'll have some fun. Don't forget, smash L like button. Let's address, to start off, the breaking news that just happened this morning, and no surprise. And, it's the kind of breaking news that nothing really like, oh my God, really this happened? No, it was expected. Bradley Chubb is going to get released. Okay. The insiders tied to the league, Pelissero and company, reported that Chubb's going to get released. So whatever, they saved $7.3 million, I think it is, and they have like 23 million in dead space. 7.3 they saved, 23.8 dead space, whatever. I don't give a shit. Who cares? What it does to me is, and none of this is really like, most talk show hosts, they deal on hindsight and they deal on the what ifs and all that kind of stuff. I usually go off of what I said. And this morning just reminds me that I root for a really stupid franchise. That's all. I root for a stupid franchise because I said last offseason, trade Chubb. Chubb's the guy you got to trade along with Tyreek, but then Tyreek blew out his knee, so that was done. But by the deadline, a responsible franchise trades Tyreek and Chubb. Tyreek wasn't available to be traded because he was injured, so that was off. You didn't trade Chubb. That was a huge mistake. You traded Jalen Phillips instead. Fine, but you should have traded Chubb. Last year, again, not hindsight. I'm talking about, 2 years ago, because we're in 26 now. I have to say it this way. Sorry. 2 years ago, leading up to the trading deadline, I screamed at the top of my lungs to trade Calais Campbell. Another freaking stupid move. Okay? Which, don't know why, but of course, when you have a head coach that wants to convince everybody that you're still got a chance, you hang on to Calais Campbell when I know you don't have a chance. And then you want to hang on to Bradley Chubb when you think you have a chance, when I know you don't have a chance. And that is why Chris Grier is not here, because he listened too much to Mike McDaniel. Mike McDaniel had no value whatsoever to guards. That's why you did not see Rob Hunt get re-signed here, because he had, as you saw it all throughout his existence here, he didn't give a shit about a guard. He didn't want to spend money on guards until the final year that somehow or another Chris Grier convinced him and goes, yo, we got to get guards. We can't keep doing what you've been wanting to do, because you can tell, like, look at all that. He didn't want to pay Rob Hunt. The front office wanted to pay Rob Hunt. The front office didn't want to pay Tyreek, and he wanted to pay Tyreek. You know, this is the kind of shit that went on. This is why Chris Grier's not here. He would have easily been here if he actually would have done what he's supposed to do on his own, and screw your coach. He catered too much to Flo. He catered too much to McDaniel, and this is why everyone got fired, and everyone deserved to get fired. Okay? But neither here nor there. The bottom line is your job was to trade Chubb because you're not going anywhere. And that's irresponsible. That's a pick that you lost. A 5th, a 6th, a 7th. I don't give a shit. It's a pick. And then the Calais Campbell one easily could have been a 5th-round pick. And you didn't go get it. So these are picks that you passed up. And this is why the Dolphins are the Dolphins and have been the Dolphins for 30-plus years. That's why they're a joke. And it doesn't matter if you're Jimmy Johnson. Jimmy Johnson was also a freaking joke, and so was Dave Wanstead, and so is Philbin, and so is Cameron, and so is Flo, and so is Gase, and so is McDaniel. And every general manager that's been here from Jimmy to Grier have all failed miserably. They all make the wrong moves. Doesn't matter what it is. They'll make the wrong moves. It doesn't matter if it's Jimmy Johnson saying, nah, I don't need Randy Moss. Larry Shannon will be just as good. I don't need Drew Brees. Why would I? Nah, I'll take Culpepper instead. So the stupid moves have happened from Saban to Jimmy to whatever, dude. It doesn't matter, right? Because Jimmy could have had Drew Brees too. And he chose to go John Avery. He's a stupid mother effer. But then again, we're talking about Jimmy Johnson, the guy that allowed Vinny Testaverde to continue to throw interceptions against Penn State. So I'm kind of used to Jimmy being stupid. You know, he's a little overrated in this town, but I get it. He had a nice run over in Dallas, so that's where he gets his props. But outside of that, there's a lot of stupidity involved in Jimmy Johnson's existence, especially tied here to South Florida when it comes to the Canes and the Dolphins. A lot of stupidity. A shit ton of stupidity. Okay? So stupidity has been the norm for the Miami Dolphins. Whether you're Dave Wanstead, you're a stupid human being. Whether you're Joe Philbin, you're a stupid human being. It's been going on forever, bro. Brian Flores couldn't build a staff. And so when I watched the Bradley Chubb cut today, it just reminds me of how stupid the Dolphins consistently are. And this is why they're a shit organization, and this is why they never accomplish anything. So, good morning. There you go. That's what Bradley Chubb means to me. Just a reminder that this team that I root for and spend money on constantly is a fucking pathetic organization. Okay. So we good? We good? All right. We good. Bradley Chubb released. What a joke. What a fucking joke, dude. Seriously. Anyway, we got that out of the way. Okay. Anyway. What do we got here? Don't forget, folks, visit our friends at the Big Cheese, bigcheesemiami.com, 8080 Southwest 67th Avenue, 305-662-6855. Good people out there, Gary and all the great people at the Big Cheese. Tell them that Big O sent you, as always. And, of course, our friends at Welt and Realm, 954-966 4646. If you need lawyers that you can count on, lots of our listeners now over the last 6 years, because they've been with us in our platform from day one. And not only myself, because I could tell you my story of them crushing Progressive for me, but it is awesome to see our listeners in South Florida, especially on the West Coast. We had a bunch of them during those two storms that they got hit by, which got walloped, obviously. And Walton Realm did a lot of business over there with a lot of our listeners and helped them out. We've had listeners in Orlando and up in the Gold Coast. So give them a ring. They've got their own adjusters, because when you call the insurance company, which is the worst thing to do, when you have damage to your home or business or condo, you call Welton Realm first. They send their adjusters. If you call the insurance company, they're going to have you for dinner. They love for you to call, because you and I don't know all the laws and loopholes. Lawyers do. And so the insurance company, once they get a call from a lawyer and not from us, man, they get their attention right away. When we call them, I got another one. So you want to make a claim? You know, that's what's going on. And we're idiots. And so let's hire the people that know what to do and crush them, because they will take advantage of. They love to collect from us, these insurance companies. But when they've got to pay, oh, man, it's like pulling teeth. Call them, 954-966-4646. The consultation's completely free. Don't be afraid. You're going to be in great hands, because you and I don't know all the laws and loopholes. They will protect us. Welt and Realm. All right. By the way, 1 o'clock today, Sean. Or right around. We should find out the Canes are ranked, right? They beat North Carolina, number 11. Then they go on the road this weekend and win against NC State, which, by the way, that was they went for like 4 minutes without scoring. I watched it, actually. I watched the second half of the game. And they go 4 minutes without scoring. You're like, what the hell is going on here? And then somehow they get on a roll at the end, score all the points. And then the kid at the free throw line just nails all three. True Washington is the truth. And by the way, those were his first 3 free throws of the game. Those 3 free throws. And he nails them all to give them the lead with 3 seconds left. They take their timeout. They can't obviously score the basket. Miami wins with a hell of a comeback. That was just absolutely awesome to watch. Okay, that was fun. They're 9-3 in the ACC, and they're 20-5 already. Jay Lucas is 20-5. He's got his 20th win already. So they're definitely going to make the tournament. I would expect them to be in the top 25 now. I don't know much about college basketball. I'm not a genius, but dude, the guy's 9-3 in the ACC, just beat North Carolina, the 11th ranked team, and then beat a very good NC State team on the road. I would imagine they're cracking the top 25 here before 1 o'clock shows up. So if any news breaks, Sean, in the next few hours while we're on, give us the news on UM, but I expect them to be ranked. Tomorrow they take on Vautech here at home. It's still the Watsco Center, or is it called something else? It is? Okay, just in case. At the Watsco Center. So we'll see what happens at 8 o'clock. But Canes, man, you go scoreless for 4 minutes, then you score the last 8 points. It's just that was crazy. That was a real swing of emotions, overall. Anyway, so congratulations to the Canes. And, of course, Sean Stanley. Jay Lucas and the Canes got a victory. With the victory comes a victory cigar. Like it. And then over the weekend, the United States of America wins not one, but two hockey games in Group C to win the group now. They advance to the quarterfinals. They beat Denmark 6-3. Bradley Chubb with a goal and an assist. Jack Eichel had a goal and assist. Then they pounded the hell out of Germany. What's worse for the Germans? Their economy, or their hockey team? What's worse? I'm not exactly sure. If you're a German and you're watching, you're going, well, man, our hockey team sucks, but our economy, I don't know. It's not like here. You don't have to worry about the Dolphins sucking. The Dows had 49,000. Anyway, so they beat Germany, the Germans, 5-1. So they win the group and they advance to the quarterfinals. So congratulations to them. So Sean Stanley, give them a victory cigar. And this weekend was the NBA All-Star Weekend, which I don't really give a shit about, but I will say I did watch the dunk contest highlights. I didn't watch the real event. I had better things to do, but I did watch the highlights, and I watched everything, and I watched our boy Kashad Johnson win. I watched the interviews after. I watched the interviews before also with him. So all that was good. Carter Bryant, by the way, from the Spurs. Wow, what a choke job for that kid at the end. Monster choke job. But Kashad Johnson, what a likable character. He's one of those guys that's easy to root for here in a Heat uniform. He always comes off the bench with a crap ton of energy. I love Kashad Johnson's energy that he comes off the bench. But he ends up winning the dunk contest, which is pretty awesome. I can't say that I saw dunks I've never seen before, but no doubt that he did a great job, especially when he jumped over the dude. He did a nice job with that one. That one had some style and everything with it. So Kashad Johnson wins the dunk contest. So Sean Stanley, he's a winner. Winner, winner, chicken dinner. Give that man a victory cigar. That was good. That was good. Norman Powell didn't get out of the first round of the three-point contest and all that, but Kashad Johnson was good. We'll talk to Ira Winderman in a little while about that. So we'll go over all things Heat as they start the second half of the season, and we'll see what happens there. I saw the Giannis video where he's walking, and they asked him, will you see me in will they see you in Miami? And he goes, yeah, I'm vacation. It's we've gotten to a point, and there's some Heat fans that haven't realized this. I think some of you have now. I was having actually a conversation over the weekend with a couple of different Heat fans. One was actually on Blue Sky and another one on Twitter, and they were very realistic, and they kind of understand what I understand now. The Heat is no longer an elite franchise. They're not taking that way anymore. They're not looked at that way. They're looked at as like a franchise that is old, and it's stuck in its old ways. And the only thing that still produces is the coaching, and that players who do come here will be better. There's no doubt about that. But outside of that, when it comes to the front office and the ownership and their thinking and the way they go about their business, they're way behind. And so the Heat are no longer the destination for anyone anymore, unless they're just looking for money. That's why the Heat have become the Dolphins. I've told you this like for the last 2 years now, that the Heat have become the Dolphins. And this is what they are now. They're the Dolphins. So if you get somebody, you're not going to get the elite of the elite anymore because they refuse to go about that. You're going to get somebody that's just going to want to take some money. And that's about it. You don't have a front office that knows how to get an elite player anymore. They used to. Now they don't. They needed the help of Dwayne Wade the last 15, 20 years in order to get by. They don't have Dwayne Wade anymore. And Pat Riley certainly can't do it anymore. Pat Riley doesn't walk into any room and command your respect and that, oh my God, yeah, I'm going there. That's dead and gone, dude. We're generations removed from that already. So too many guys, all these kids, they have no idea who Pat Riley is, dude. Nothing whatsoever. They might hear about it from their grandparents or their dad or whatever, but it won't register at all to them. So that and nothing registers except money and picks. And these are things that they refuse to acquire in order to move ahead. So since they refuse to do that, you're always going to be the bridesmaid and not the bride. That's just kind of that. This is where we're at now. And that was really refreshing over the weekend to hear from some fans that kind of get it, that, you know, Riley and especially Arison, the Arison family, kind of stuck in their ways and they don't see it. It's a shame. It really is a shame. But this is where we're at now. And so this whole silliness of going after another whale when you have no chance at getting them, plus your team is not that good. Your team is even better than what it really is only because of Spo. If it's not for Spo, you'd actually look the way you're supposed to look, and then you'd be really panicking now. Think about that, you know? So kind of sucks, but that's the reality that we're in. By the way, all year cooling and plumbing for all our friends here in Florida, from Vero Beach to Homestead, even in Naples, we have locations there. Florida's #1 AC and plumbing service. Tommy Smith and company do excellent work, folks. 7-day-a-week service, free repair estimates, same-day installations. Financing is available, extended warranty. They've been in business since 73, so they're starting year number 53 right now. Over 350,000 satisfied customers. I'm one of them. My AC right here in my home is in year 16, and they installed it 16 years ago when I was at 640 Sports back in the day. All year cooling and plumbing. 888-204-5554 and tell them that Big O sent you. They will take care of you, man. They are really good people. Really good people. All right, let me check the chat board here. What do we got going on the chat board? Oh, wait a minute. Here we go. Okay. What do we got here? NorCal #1. He's puffing and a puffin'. Jeff in Long Island. Stony Stanley. True Fin fan. No doubt. Luis Notare. Who gets released next? I don't know, bro. Who cares? Tyreek, whatever. All kinds of guys will get released. It is what it is, bro. The 201 will take a little while because they'll try to trade him first. Once they exhaust that, then they'll cut him. Anthony Campos, Seattle man, is in. Alexis Palenzuela. Oscar Rojas. James Vivinetti, Brian Landis, Ty in the Bronx, Gus 1388, Andy Jackson. Too many ball caps? Never. Big Mouth Ralph, Dolphins cut Chubb. Yep. Let's see. Juan Rosa. Dunk contest should not be a thing anymore. No, but whatever. Our guy won. We'll take it. Giovanni, Mark Askew, why didn't Miami trade? Well, because Miami has been a horrible franchise for 30 plus years, dude. You know what I mean? Ask yourself, why would you not draft Randy Moss at 19? What's worse, not trading Chubb or not drafting Randy Moss at 19 by Jimmy Johnson? What's worse, drafting John Avery or not taking Drew Brees by Jimmy Johnson? See what I'm saying? So these mistakes are stupid, but we've made bigger, catastrophic mistakes. What's worse, deciding Culpepper or Brees? You know what I'm saying? What's worse, your owner wants to tank, tells the head coach, hey, dude, you got the green light to tank because we want to go get Joe Burrow, be number one. And the idiot tries to win every game possible, so you end up with Tua, the injury-prone player. We're a stupid effing franchise, my brother. This is such a stupid franchise that they didn't even sit down with that dumbass coach and explain, yo, stupid. Yo, Brian effing Flores, you dumb mother effer. Our first year, we're not trying to win any games. Do you understand that, you asshole? They couldn't even do that. So if you're worried about this mistake and you're not worried about Robin Senline for Anthony Carter, or you're not worried about signing Hugh Green and it ends up becoming an absolute bust, my brother, you haven't suffered enough. You have no idea. So the move that they failed to make, yeah, it's bad, but I've lived through a lot worse. A lot worse. And why? Because the Dolphins have been a pathetic franchise under Shula, under Jimmy, under Wanstead, under Philbin, under Flo, under Mike McDaniel. They have been a joke of a franchise for a long time. So make sure you put it all in perspective when you overreact about one move. I can overreact about other moves which were much more catastrophic. Much more catastrophic. Could have led us to even better places. So, let's see. Obviously, I haven't recovered from some of those, as you can feel. So Mark Askew, thank you. Giovanni. What else? Big Champ. Mickey Harrison is just like Jerry Reinsdorf, but the only difference between Mickey and Jerry is that Mickey doesn't dismantle teams like Jerry did. I like that comparison. I like that. Because the guy they got him the success, and then after that, they couldn't continue to have success. And that's kind of what's happened. You know? So, yeah. Yeah. Now, put it this way. Mickey Harrison is no Robert Kraft. Okay? No, not that Mickey doesn't go to Asian day spas. I'm sorry. I didn't mean it that way. I meant that. Anyway. Let's see. The Jaybird is in the house. Fort Lauderdale. Yep. Got to get a win. But the offense looks so much better, so much more open. So that was really, really good. By the way, tomorrow on the show, although you'll probably won't find it till the evening, but Abigail Hugh, Abby, will be joining us tomorrow. She had a goal and an assist in the game yesterday. The offensive defender will be joining us tomorrow on the show. Let's see. Cosa Nostra, howdy to you, sir. What else do we have? Skylar Tipton, Joseph, True Fin fan. Ted in New Jersey. Let's see. Oh, I'm so happy you're finally watching Canes basketball. I told you, Coach, Jay Lucas has them worth watching. Yeah, but I'm watching, but you know, it's like a little novelty for me. You know what I mean? Jay, this is nothing, dude. This is Mickey Mouse basketball that I'm watching. You know what I'm saying? I'm watching it and okay, and it's all right, but I'm settling. You know what I'm saying? What I got in the 80s and the 90s, that's a bait and switch. It's bait and switch, dude. I mean, are we going to be honest here? Are we going to really like look in the mirror and like be honest with ourselves? You know, I'm watching, but it still ain't, it's not impressive. Okay. It's like, you know, souped up high school basketball is what I see. I don't see what I saw in the past from college basketball. So I'm watching it, but don't ever think that I'm going to fall in love with it ever again. You know what I'm saying? And I'm watching it because I'm only watching the University of Miami. I wouldn't watch another college basketball game if you paid me. You know what I'm saying? So I'm watching, but I'm watching only because it's local and all right and all that. But you're not going to catch me at a game. You're not going to catch me going crazy about it or anything like that. It's minor. It's so minor league college basketball now. I'm sorry, dude. I lived the 80s and the 90s. You can't give me that and then I get this. No, dude. I'm sorry. This college basketball is for kids that don't know any better, that have been on earth only the last 30 years, 35 years. They don't know shit. They don't know anything. And this is all they know. That's what this is. And so as we move forward into another generation or two, then everybody will forget about what college basketball is. And then this mediocre shit will be the norm for Americans. And unfortunately for people like me, yeah, dude, no, I'm sorry. Yeah, this college basketball is garbage compared to, you know, it just kind of shows you that, God, I hate to kind of take away credit now, but it kind of shows you where this league is at, where college, especially the ACC out of all places, that in one off season, you could completely turn your program around and be impactful because it's really not that difficult anymore. You know? So it's just, it's all right, whatever, but I'm not, trust me, I'm not, oh my God, I'm going to go watch basketball. No. If I run into it, fine, whatever, but yeah. Let's see. Randy Moss was drafted in the 98 class, number 21. Vikings picked number 29, so went with Avery. They never had a chance. Bro, they picked at number 19, and they would have taken Vonnie Holiday. Then they traded down, and they traded to number 29. I got it, Big Mouth Ralph. You didn't live it, so you don't know anything. But they could have had Randy Moss. They traded out of that pick down to 29, and they could have had Moss at that time. So, you know. So I don't think you knew that Miami was picking like at 19, I think, that year, and they traded down to number 29 for John Avery. And then we cornered Jimmy Johnson and said, well, if you wouldn't have traded down and you stayed at 19, what would you have picked? The dude goes, I would have picked Vonnie Holiday, which would have been a good pick. Don't get me wrong. Vonnie Holiday turned into a hell of a player. We got him later on in his career also. But you had Randy Moss. So, but I get it, dude. You're young. You didn't live it. So it is what it is. Daniel Guzman is checking in from Orlando. True Fin fan. Think Blue Dodgers. Brian Landis. Ocala Joe, Phil Quinn, Lisa Rose, let's see, JV, What else do we have? White man from town. It's disgusting the way Troy Aikman took more control of this team than Dan Marino. It's not disgusting, dude. Dan Marino doesn't want any part of that. Why do you want to force Dan Marino to do what you want to do? Bro, Dan Marino played his 17 years, gave everything, Achilles and all, and Don Shula didn't do enough to surround him. Why? He has to become a GM now? He doesn't want to be a GM. He tried that 15 years ago. He ran away like a house was on fire. He told you years ago he had no intentions of becoming a general manager. Dan Marino es un postalita. He just wants to hang around the club. Oh, you need my opinion here? I'll give you mine. He's not going to sit in the dark room and break down 50 quarterbacks and watch all their game film and walk out with bags in his eyes because he's been breaking down DBs for the last week. That's not who he is, dude. Dan Marino's not going to go around kissing people's asses. That's not, if you know Dan, that's not who he is. And he's not going to be traveling around scouting people and timing this guy and looking at that guy and another. You guys got to let it go already, bro. Dan Marino did his time. He's hanging around to go talk to season ticket holders, to do the half-ass stuff. The guy earned his career already. He earned his life. He earned his money. Dan Marino is entitled to live his life the way he wants, not the way you want. And he's already told you over and over and over again, he has no intentions on becoming a general manager. He has no intentions on developing the work ethic that it would take to become a general manager. He's done with that. He wants to go golf. He wants to hang out. He wants to enjoy his life, and he deserves that. Let him go, dude. He is just a figurehead, period. And I don't understand why some of you have a problem with that. Leave the man alone, dude. He did more than enough, and Miami didn't do enough for him. And now we're going to bust his balls because he doesn't really want to be a general manager. So he's entitled to that. He can, if he just wants to be a husband and a father and an employee at the Dolphins, dude, he's earned more than that. Let him go. Leave him alone. Leave Dan Marino alone, dude. He wants nothing to do with being a personnel expert. I don't know how much proof you guys need. They handed him the job. He never wanted it. He ran away from it in the first day at the Senior Bowl. I was there. He couldn't take it after one day. So that's why you go get a Troy Aikman and other people, because Troy wants to do this. John Elway wanted to do it. He went to the Arena League to learn how to be a general manager and then went to the NFL. You have to have it. You have to want it. Dan Marino doesn't want that, dude. He wants to talk to a sponsor in the morning and go hit the back nine in the afternoon. That's what he wants to do. And guess what? More power to Dan, dude. I watched his 17-year career, and I watched us screw it all up around him. Okay? We never developed a running game, never developed a defense, never really developed a dominant run line. It's more of a pass protection line. And then Shula screwed up one draft pick after another, one trade after another. So, dude, leave Marino alone, please. Just leave him alone. Luis Medina, Lou from Dade. Let's see. Rusty Rags. Good morning from the airport, Big O. Headed to Fort Lauderdale for the week. I'll shoot you a message. All right. Look forward to it. Let's see. Jaybird says, I agree with you, but I'm still cheering UM ball into March Madness. Yeah, I'll cheer him on, but it's a little novelty for me. It's It's nothing. I'm just not impressed with college basketball nowadays. Let's see. Pat in Asheville, our schools would show the ACC tournament in class in the 80s. Yeah, that's. But you're in North Carolina. That's like, that's kind of like, it's different over there. It's like culture. It's life. It's like wallpaper. It's like having a hamburger. It's the American way. It's Tobacco Road. Yeah. Definitely. Let's see. What else do we say here? Anthony Calcampos, True Fin Fan, would you say that this is the world that's left for people 35 and younger, just garbage and no greatness? Could we be the last great generation? It hurts for my kids and grandchildren. Well, it's just that everything has been watered down. Right? Everything. The NFL football has been watered down. It's not nearly as violent as it used to be, right? And now we had to do that because of, all the damage that it was causing to these human beings. And they're still causing plenty of damage as it is. But overall, yeah, it's just things have been watered down. The NBA, load management. I mean, that's some funny shit, dude. Load management. You guys don't even play a whole year. Load management. Like I've said this before. So what do you tell the teacher that's been teaching for 40 years? Load management. What do you tell the garbage man that's been collecting garbage every day for 40 years? What do you tell the police officer that's been serving for 30, 40 years? So you're going to play a game for 4 or 5, 10, 15 years and you're going to be overworked when you don't even play an entire season or anything, like a whole year or anything. So the mother has to carry a job, the kids in the house, and there's no load management. Like, what are we talking about here? You know what I'm saying? And this is where the life has become a joke. These assholes in the NBA make a crap ton of money and they don't even earn it. And they don't even want to play every day. They don't want to work every day. Because, of course, you and I can go to jobs and just not work. And oh, no, hey, dude, I can't work on the line today. Load management. I've been working for 7 straight days. You can't expect me to work an 8th straight day. No, man. But wait a minute. Didn't you have the weekend off? It doesn't matter. I've worked 5 straight days and now 2 straight here on Monday and Tuesday. You can't expect me to work on Wednesday. I need a day off. Oh, really? Okay. AI is eliminating that shit. That's real life. Real life is, you can't do the job? Don't worry about it. We'll get a robot to do your job. Yeah, this is the world we live in. I remember that there was a college coach that protected one pedophile and lost everything. Nowadays, you can protect many pedophiles and not lose anything. Anyway, remember, you can make a donation to the show, Cash App or Venmo. At Cash Big O Show. That is Cash Big O Show, Cash App or Venmo. You can send in questions, comments, insults, all kinds of good stuff. It's a watered down world, my brother. It's a watered down world. That's where we're at, unfortunately, my friend. It's a watered down world. And a lot of things have been watered down. From your Whopper to your sporting events. Doesn't matter what it is. It's all been watered down. Crazy, huh? Anyway. What else? NBA is almost unwatchable. Biggest NBA news this weekend was All-Star events, and it was Michael Jordan. The Michael Jordan thing, Sean Stanley, sir, let me have a bit of your time. because I am ignorant to this. This is not my expertise. But I saw that because this is what was going on, and I read about it and all that, but you can fill us in a lot more than we can. Tyler Reddick wins the Daytona 500. So Michael Jordan's team wins, and he's celebrating and lifting the trophy. Tyler, by the way, struggled a little bit to lift that trophy, by the way. He was that thing must weigh like crazy, right?
Yeah, the trophy's heavier than he is.
Yeah. Yes, exactly. But then the moment that people are talking about is Bubba Wallace not winning the 500 ever, and Michael Jordan kind of hugging him and giving him, like, it looks like words of encouragement or something like that. So Michael Jordan, the basketball guy, has kind of ingratiated himself even more in the racing world kind of this weekend. Is that what the whole gist of it is?
It's not just this weekend. I mean, he filed a lawsuit against NASCAR last year that went all through the season that has changed the complexity of NASCAR. And then his team goes out there and wins, so I mean, again, it's tough. You got 40 racers out there. Only one guy's going to end up winning. And especially at that speedway at Daytona, one wreck took out 14 cars. So it's luck as well. And then actually Reddick won because he was in front of the big wreck that happened at the end, which
he tapped the guy that was part of that wreck also.
Oh, no, yeah. There's tapping. When the cars pull up, you'll see the tire tracks all over the cars. They're hitting each other the whole race. But yeah, I mean, Bubba's come close. He's won the duels, which are the first races that set up the qualifying. The first two qualify on speed. The others have to kind of race for their position. And he's won that, but he's never won the Daytona 500, and he's come close. He's led a lot, and it just hasn't happened on that final lap for him. And then to watch, your teammate do it, it's one of those things. And so, yeah, but Jordan has really taken Bubba Wallace under his wing and has kind of matured him a lot. And Bubba Wallace has matured a lot since he's had a kid. I mean, the Bubba Wallace you get today is not the Bubba Wallace you had about 3 or 4 years ago. So it's been a good thing. I mean, my favorite driver is Denny Hamlin, who is the co-owner with Michael Jordan on the 2311 race team. So he didn't win driving, but he did win as an owner.
So Jordan changed the shoe game with him and his mom back in the day. Mm-hmm. So what's he changing in the racing game?
Basically now, the one thing that I wasn't aware of, so they had charters, but they didn't own the charters. So they couldn't take out loans on them. They're just basically given cars. And then if NASCAR wanted to, they could just take them back and you don't have a car. Now those are what they're calling evergreen, which means they own them now. So now it allows them to take out loans. It's given them basically a franchisee in a way in NASCAR, whereas before it was just kind of them funding their own, and they got the sponsorship. Not crying poor for any of them because it's not that way, but it could have gotten taken away from them in an instant. So a lot of it was NASCAR coming to them and being like, sign this. And they just signed it. And it took, Jordan and some other people coming in going, wait, I'm not signing this. And it took forever. And to be honest, if there were some emails that got out during the trial, I think if those didn't come to light, they probably wouldn't have settled. They probably would have tried to see if they could have kept it going. But there were some emails that didn't make NASCAR look good to the owners or the fans. So the easiest thing for them to do was to settle it and move on and give the teams basically what they never had, which was their franchises. So now they can go and take loans and everything else. They've allowed them to become actually owners. They weren't owners of the team because the team could disappear if NASCAR said, you no longer have a charter. It was over. Right.
This is that's the MLS bullshit.
Yeah. And now that's gone now. So, and that's because Jordan and them fought for it. And the other owners, I think at this point were just like, well, they haven't taken them away from us. You had Penske, Hendricks, Roush, Roush Fenway. you have all those teams that have been there forever. And I always called it the good old boy network because it was kind of that way. You know, you always had teams come in. Pitbull came in for 1 year, was out, was like, no, you know, and Jordan stayed. I didn't know if that was going to stay there for as long as he did. And then he's made those changes. You know, he's the front runner because, like you said, with the shoes and now with him, he's like, this ain't right. And he funded his own money. He funded his own money for that lawsuit. And so he's all in on the NASCAR thing now. And now he's a Daytona 500 champion.
Money is not a thing for him.
No, it's not. But I mean, the fact that it's not like he's like, you know, I'm taking, you know, whatever. He funded himself. Yeah. And I believe it was Trackhouse Racing. He was giving them some to keep the lawsuit going because if they would have folded, then it would have been only 23-11 against NASCAR.
Right. Yeah. No, I got you. I got you. I just, you know, it's like, yeah, he funded himself, but you know, it's like we're talking Jordan. Jordan can fund a lot of shit. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Now they've got 3 cars, and then next year they're probably going to 4. So,
okay, all right, good shit, man. Jordan making an impact. He's never been a guy that takes any shit from anybody. So he's not going to take shit from NASCAR or the NBA or anybody, dude. That's been Michael Jordan his whole life. So it's cool to see the Joe Gibbs and the Michael Jordans of the world, leaders in their own sports, to then go and have success in another sport, which is really difficult to have success in. So that's really cool.
And another interesting thing that you just brought, because Denny Hamlin races for Joe Gibbs, and that's who's taught him a lot of the ownership things that him and Jordan Jordan brings, you know, more of the, I'm going to make it happen. Whereas I think Hamlin kind of calms some things down probably that Jordan's like, no, we're doing this, but yeah. So,
right. Yeah. Yeah. That's good. That's good. It's a good yin and yang. All right. I like that. All right, what else do we have? Let's see. Big O, since Wade and Shaq say 06 title, want to do a doc. Any behind the scenes of the title do you know about? Any memories you can say? That was a fun season, a cover. It was fun being in that locker room. And seeing what's it called? Alonso cry with that trophy. Obviously, I thought that was really, really cool because he had been through so much with the kidney and everything, and he was the most important defensive center in the series. It wasn't Shaq. It was Alonzo Mourning. Made the most impactful plays in that game. You know, Gary Payton hit 2 of the biggest shots in that series that people never really talk about. I remember White Chocolate, Jason Williams yelling in the locker room, they said I was a problem. God, I'm trying to remember I'd have to think of, I don't know if I'm special things that I'm trying to remember them, you know, that the championship moments there, you know. But it was, man, that was a lot of fun. That was a lot of fun breaking through that glass ceiling. That was a lot of fun. And watching Wade do his thing, pretty amazing. Pretty amazing stuff. Let's see. Brett says our entire society has been softened down for many years now. We've turned into a world of wussies and sissies where being a victim is paramount. Pathetic. Yep. That is true. No Doubt says Daytona is a wild card. It is hard to win, especially with the race style now. Limited speed. You cannot just drive away like Richard Petty did. I'm not smart enough. I don't. If I know something, I'll talk about it. If I don't know, I have no problem saying I don't know. I don't know enough about that. Sean would know more about that or comparisons or whatever. Jeff Gordon is my NASCAR favorite. The Rainbow Warrior, right? Is that what it is? Big O, your extensive knowledge of the racing world is matched only by your expertise of pro wrestling. That's right. Both dwarfed by your impressive arsenal of useless trivia and facts. Now there you go. Useless trivia and facts, I'm all over it. See, Brett Dodger knows me to a T, bro. To a T. You know? But I'm not that dude that says, oh, I know everything about everything. No. No, I'm good. I'm good. If I don't know about something, my wife sometimes gets frustrated. She'll ask me, and I'll go, I don't know. What do you want? Why do you always do that? And I go, well, if I don't know about it, what the hell am I going to do? I'm not going to tell you about something that I don't know about. There's nothing wrong with that. It's impossible to know about everything. Oh, let's see. John Padilla, what's up, Big O? Rainy day in the Bay, home watching the best show. That's very kind of you. Thank you, John. Very nice of you, sir. Let's see. Jordan over LaFlop by 1 million. Oh, God, yes. It's not even close, dude. As I always say, LeBron had to come down to Miami, and it took game 6 against Boston for him to finally graduate. Michael Jordan graduated as a sophomore at UNC, hitting the biggest shot of the game. And Dean Smith drew up the play for the sophomore. And the sophomore is the one that took the shot. Why? Because the sophomore was a dog from the get-go. So, that's how I settle every argument about this. Okay? He didn't learn to be a dog. He was a dog. Whereas LeBron had to learn to be a dog. And it took him till Boston game 6. You think that Michael Jordan's going to get posted by J.J. Barea? Bro, J.J. tries to post Michael, and Michael would have stolen the ball and all his clothes and dunked it on the other end and left all the clothes hanging on the glass. You're gonna post up LeBron James. You're J.J. Oh, yeah, you are. Huh? Yeah, no. Yeah. That's where my argument just ends. It's over. It's over. One was a dog from the get-go. The other did not have that until deep into his career. So, zero comparisons in my book. Let's see. Big O, is there anything positive you could say about the new Dolphin coaching roster? Yes, you've replaced the last one. That's it. Now, is it a good one or a bad one? I don't know, but you replaced your last coaching staff. And to me, Mike McDaniel was dog shit. So that's a good thing. Now, is Hafley the guy? I have no idea. None of us know, dude. None of us know. Is Sullivan a good GM? We don't know. I know his dad really well. I covered his dad. Jerry Sullivan was one hell of a wide receivers coach and a hard-ass mofo. Love Jerry Sullivan. Love his dad. His dad was a hell of a receivers coach. One of the Dolphin assistant coaches that I have the most respect for is Jerry Sullivan over the years. So I hope that John Eric Sullivan didn't fall, that apple didn't fall too far from the tree. Let's hope. But do I know? No, I have no idea. But I do know this. You got rid of what wasn't working. So that's positive. But you always get rid of what's not working. Do you replace it with something that works? That's the key. Our number 2 in Ira Winderman with our Acura of Pembroke Pines, Miami Heat, and NBA report is next.
Heat fans, time for the best insight of your favorite team with insider Ira Winderman, exclusively on the Big O Radio Show. It's the Acura of Pembroke Pines, Miami Heat, and NBA report. Here's Ira Winderman.
All right. Good morning, sir. How are you feeling?
Enjoying the All-Star break. I think the Heat, I think a bunch of Heat fans needed a little time off to digest where they haven't gone so far and maybe at least have some hope of where they go next.
I'll tell you what, Kashad Johnson, You love his energy off the bench every
Yes.
time he does play. And then you got to see his personality, and, it's super likable, easy guy to root for, that kind of stuff. And you got to love that he backed it all up, to have the bravado and then back it up. That takes a little something, and he brought it. So good for him, man. Good for him.
Yeah, you know what? And think about where we were a year ago, last year, Big O, with miserable Jimmy Butler, an unhappy team in an unhappy place, not knowing where they're going. It's almost like when you were talking about the Dolphins coaching staff and you have to weed out and start all over again. That's where I think the Heat is. I think they're moving on from the Jimmy Butler process. They're weeding out. They did something very interesting this season. Nothing. They're waiting to get everything in order. No Tyler Hero extension. No major move at the trade deadline. So far, no Norm Powell extension. And that's fine. When you've been stuck in the wilderness for so long, get things in order. Get your draft picks in order. Get your salary cap in order. Get your future in order. Play the young kids. That's where they are right now. But I will tell you this. The stench is lost from the locker room, from what we had last year. You saw Keyshawn Johnson, affable, effusive, ebullient there in the all-star dunk stage. That's what the Heat need more of right now. Get the attitude right. Then you can get the skill, the salary cap, and the draft picks lined up also. It'll be small steps, but like you said, you'd rather have the small correct steps than the one big misstep that you didn't want of chucking all the youth and all the draft picks aside and saying, okay, let's hope this one works.
So you think they didn't make the Rozier move just because they said, you know what, enough of bad salaries because we might be taking on something. Let's just not. If we're going to take on a bad salary, let's just get out of this bad salary and move on.
Yeah, I think that had a lot to do with why they didn't trade Terry just for more money. Again, remember, they traded Kyle Lowry's expiring contract for Terry Rozier's contract, which had the extra season on it, and now the Heat are living that out. I think this is the Heat's cleansing period, just like you spoke about with the Dolphins. Sometimes you have to step back, you have to clean up the mess of your own doing, and then you move forward. The Rozier deal was terrible. The draft pick given up was terrible, and Adam Silver had no mention during his All-Star speech about his All-Star media conference about giving that back. So I think the Heat are in a little reset phase, which is why when I spoke to you on last week's Accurate Pembroke Pines report, and we spoke about the Heat not making a move, sometimes you have to stay in place to reset where you are going forward. That clearly was the agenda set by Pat Riley, Andy Ellisberg, Adam Simon, Nick Arison is, hey, this is headed toward a fourth straight year of the play-in. We have to be more. We have to be better. Let's get everything in order. And if Big O says we have to step back, we'll step back, and then we'll make our strides forward again because we always have found a way eventually.
Well, we'll see if they can find a way. I don't know. I don't know if they know how to find their way anymore because, unfortunately, they're not willing to do what it really takes in order to move forward in this league. But talking a little bit about the NBA, Adam Silver finally going to do something about tanking. I don't know what you're going to end up doing. I would personally, for me, if you're tanking, they should take you out of the lottery. That's what I would do. It's like you get booted from the lottery, and then you get placed right after the lottery automatically. That's what I would.
This is what I suggested when Utah pulled its shenanigans against Orlando, and even though they beat Miami, is, you know what? He fined them $500,000, but you know this, Big O, especially a guy like you, a cryptocurrency billionaire with all your Bitcoin, is for the rich people, money only matters so much. It's the least of currency. What I would do is, instead of docking Utah $500,000, I would add 5 more wins to their lottery total. So when they go in the lottery, instead of only having 15 wins, they'd have 20 wins and they'd be seated further back. I'd also remove some lottery slips. In the lottery, for those who are unfamiliar, we think of ping pong balls, but basically there's 1,001 combinations. The worst teams get the most lottery slips, 125, 150. I would remove combinations. I tell Utah, okay, do 120 combinations as the thing gets rolling there. You lose these 20 combinations. And if any of these 20 of your combinations come in, the balls get thrown back. You don't get a chance. Real penalties for the lottery, not cash penalties. Because I bet, Big O, if you ask these owners, Would you spend an extra $500,000 for a better chance to get one of the top picks in the draft, just like in the NFL? Of course you would. Because look, teams are paying over $1 million to buy a second-round pick. So we would pay multi-millions to move up in the first. So Adam Silver now knows where the bar is. He knows how to hit teams hard. The problem is, just like with Deflategate and Cheatgate and Signalgate and all of that, you have to have the means to actually prove it. You have to be able to say, no, these guys weren't hurt. Jaren Jackson Jr. and Larry Markkinen in the fourth quarter weren't on a minutes restriction. You have to get in there. You have to get down. You have to get dirty. Sort of like the NFL finally did now with their Deflategate and other things. And the perfect example, I think, was the New Orleans Saints, right? And when they had Bountygate. And all of a sudden, Sean Payton was suspended for a year. And there were real penalties. The Dolphins and them and had losing draft choices. I think that's how you penalize. You can't pay rich people with money. For them, money is just another currency that gets thrown in the wind as if you're in one of those cash machines. So I agree. Real penalties that have real consequences for the lottery. Because you know what? If you can't say that a team is trying to win in sports, what do you have when it comes to the game?
Right. And so why not just go back to the old lottery system that the 14 teams all have the same chance? That way you're not trying to get more balls by losing more. And it doesn't matter. You're in the lottery and whoever wins. And I know that people get pissed off because back in the day, a decent team that fell into the back end of the lottery.
Orlando, Penny Hardaway, Shaquille O'Neal, they just kept going in. Yeah.
Exactly. But so what? It didn't turn into anything anyway. So we overreacted about it because Pat Williams was happy, was lucky.
Right. Lucky charms.
Yeah. Did he have like a lizard or something that he would bring?
He had everything. He was a sorcerer. Yes.
Right. Yeah. So, I mean, it was a trip. It was fun. But so what? It didn't end up turning into anything anyways for Orlando. So karma is what it is.
Okay, Big O, but the world has changed.
Why not go back to that system?
I'll tell you why. You'd have to get rid of the play-in. Because if teams that lose in the play-in go to the lottery, and you're the Heat last year, and you're going into overtime in Atlanta, I could have an equal 1 in 14 chance as Brooklyn if I lose now or go get my butt kicked by Cleveland. Anyone in the play-in is going to want to lose because the odds have been flattened. I don't think that works either. I think you have to I think you have to get to a system where, one, if you're in the lottery multiple years, you can't be in it the third year. If you get a top 5 pick, you can't get a top 5 pick the next year. You can't make it the mechanism to build your team with. Big O, there has to be a better way to succeed in life than luck. And that's what the lottery is. The lottery is saying, Dallas, you could do a horse crap job. You could trade Luka Doncic. You can do everything wrong from a front office thing. And then all of a sudden you have Cooper Flag and you reset for the next 10 years. There has to be more than luck when it comes to success. So I think there are means to get it done. But I also think that teams that are stuck in the mud because of injuries, because of bad timing for their team, because of the Celtics and what they went through when they lose a Len Bias and they have to go through again with Reggie Lewis down the road also, there should be means for those teams to recoup. But instead, it's the sniveling little weasels who decide that they would rather cheat and game the system. Those are the teams you have to work a system around. I agree.
Okay. All right. So, I mean, there's no more trading deadline. This is the team. So obviously they're going to try to make their run, whatever it is. This looks like a play-in team.
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. Look, let's look at the East and let's be honest here. Okay, Big O, you're not catching Detroit. You're not catching Boston and you're not catching New York. They're way ahead of you. Cleveland is trending in a super good direction. Toronto has absolutely shocked me by how well they are playing. So you're talking about catching Cleveland or catching Philadelphia or bust. And if Joel Embiid even plays in half their games, they showed last year by tanking and getting VJ Edgecombe how much one player can make a difference when you add him to Maxey. I don't see many ways the Heat to get out of the play-in unless they win 2/3 of their remaining games. And Big O, we're talking about a Heat team that has not won consecutive games since January 1st. They've done it once. They have to show more consistency. What I need to see is what you've been telling me for weeks here on our Accurate Pembroke Pines report, and we haven't seen. I need to see Tyler Hero, and I need to see if it works with Norman Powell, because I don't care about this year's playoffs, and I don't care about the play-in. Does this work? Do the Heat have a competitive three with Bam and Norm and Tyler that works, or are we going to be the same place we were to start the season?
But Ira, why are you worried about that? Norm's gone at the end of the year. He's a free agent. There's no future. And Tyler Hero is a guy that you're just dying to get rid of. In fact, my follow-up to all of that, I'm glad you brought up Tyler Hero, is, well, if Yakuchonis and others are starting to develop, why am I going to play a progress stopper? Why am I going to play a guy that I have no future with anymore? I get it that maybe I have to play him in order to get rid of him so I can build some value.
Bingo.
But at the same time, it's what I've wanted all year. I want to play young guys. I want this to be about development. So if Tyler comes back and that hurts Yakuchonis' time, is that a productive thing?
It's a productive thing to build out your roster by getting something in return for a young player like that. Now, look, Washington got almost nothing for Trae Young. If you can just get something to augment, maybe a draft pick, I'd love to have a draft pick, then I'd say, yes, you go for it. So that's where they are. The other question is the one you raised with Norman Powell is, I just wrote this at sunsentinel.com. If you're not extending Norm between now and the end of the season, then I agree. There's probably no future there because you're not willing to make at 32 years old that type of commitment. So you have to decide right there whether you want to stay with that or whether you want to move forward. Excuse me. So I'm with playing the young players, but I have to know the Heat's plan. I wasn't sure after the trade deadline. I don't know when or if Tyler's coming back. I don't know what's happening. Look, Big O, I would have traded Andrew Wiggins at the deadline, even for multiple seconds. I would have traded Norm Powell, even as he went to the All-Star game, for a first-round pick somewhere else.
Easy.
But they didn't. So what you're asking me is I have to get into the mind of the Heat and decide from what they have now, what are they going to do? I know what they're going to do. They're going to go balls to the walls, and they're going to try to get the best possible record and see if they can win a playoff round. I would love to get Pat Riley and Andy Ellisberg and Adam Simon and Nick Harrison on the lie detector and ask them this. Is this current Miami Heat roster capable of contention? And I got to tell you something. It would be negative with Andy and Pat and Nick and Adam. It just would. They know they're not. But because you and I know Eric Spoelstra and his utter belief that he can get something done, he would say, yes, we can contend. And Big O, you watch these because you watch some of the post-game shows. You see the clips on YouTube. Eric Spoelstra is like one of those preachers on the Sunday morning shows that there could be a cataclysm and there could be frogs and darkness and firstborn being gone and everything. And Eric Spoelstra, Preacher Spo, would be up there saying better days are ahead. It's just who he is. He just sees someone coming from the sky and making it all better. We all need some of that light in our life, and that's who Eric Spoelstra is. So Eric Spoelstra, believe me, what's the thing? It was Bump Phillips. Remember, you give me my ins against his ins and I'll beat them. That's who Eric Spoelstra is. So
he can beat you with his in and what is it? No, he can beat you with his in and
against your ins or something like that. I don't know. It doesn't sound exactly right, but that's who Eric Spoelstra is. And you know what? That's who I want leading my ship. I want him guiding the ark and taking all them animals 2 by 2 to a better tomorrow. But we also know the reality. And again, Pat Riley is a brilliant basketball mind. And Andy Ellisberg is a brilliant salary cap mind. And Adam Simon is a brilliant developmental mind. They know better. This is not a contending roster. This is not Detroit, New York, or even Boston that might get Tatum back, or Cleveland that's found their stride. Oh, my God, has James Harden right now. You need to take a step back. Like Big O said just now in our Accurate Pembroke Pines report, Yakuchonis has to play. I don't care if you love Drew Smith. I don't care if you gave Davion Mitchell the 2-year deal. You have your future in front of him. He plays. Pelle Larsson has to continue starting. I don't care if it gets anyone else upset. And whether it works mathematically with plus minus or not, Khalil Ware gets his minutes with Bam for this reason. You're paying Bam Adebayo $1 billion starting next season. If you can't make it work with Bam and your prime young front court draft pick, then maybe you have to blow the whole thing up also. So I agree. We have 2 months to see our youngins beat your oldins and see what they can do. I agree with that.
Pat in Nashville says he can take hisin and beat yoursin and take yoursin and beat hisin. There you go.
Yeah, and that's what Eric Spoelstra believes. And you know what, Big O? God bless him. Your coach should. Your front office should pull him back. And your front office should go, Spo, come in here. Let's have a little white wine. And I want to talk about playing the kids a little bit more. And he's been compliant, and he's been a good Heat soldier now for 3 decades, and I think he would do that.
By the way, I'm happy for Hayward Highsmith.
Yeah, that he gets a job. He's back in Phoenix playing for real. The Heat had to dump him in his salary cap moves. Again, so many of these teams made these cap moves like Philadelphia and Orlando at the deadline. The Heat just made theirs ahead of time. Hayward had the knee injury. He couldn't play. He's a good soldier who deserves a chance. Phoenix is really good right now, and it looks like we'll be seeing Hayward Highsmith in the playoffs, probably deeper than the Heat's run this year.
Yes, unfortunately, that's probably the case. Norm didn't last in the 3-point contest, and well, at least Khalil Ware also got a little. You know
what? The guy's got. I love that Khalil got to be around winners and see what it's like to win and succeed, and see what it's like to get to the highest level of the game. So I thought him being there was fantastic. Norm it's like a lifetime achievement award. The guy's 31 years old. He's put in his time, 11 years in the league. Such a good leader, such a good spirit, such a good soul. It meant something to him. And I think you got to admit, Big O, I know you're a little bit down on the NBA right now on the product. The guy's played hard. Now, that should be the minimum requirement, just like you work hard and I work hard. So they actually did what they should, but at least they found a format with the shorter games that you could go harder, not knowing it's going to be a full 48 minutes. I think that made a difference also in the All-Star game. The way they played
that bullshit that we were getting last couple of years and all that. There was a team that was, either not trying because of its leader or whatever. No, we're back to everybody working hard on the Heat.
Right. They played 4 games that basically were 4 fourth quarters. So everyone saw the clock ticking down from 12 minutes instead of ticking down from 48 minutes. Give them credit. It seemed to work.
Yeah. No, I can deal with this. It sucks. You're not good enough. I get it. But I can't deal with you not trying and you're just losing and giving away games and stuff like that. To me, that's the part that's, and that's the team itself already has enough problems with all this load management crap and everything else that's gone on. It's just the product has really suffered, overall. So yeah, I'm definitely a little down on it, but at least with Heat basketball, it's back to where it's supposed to be. So to me, I'm happy with that overall. We'll just see what happens now here in this second half and see if they can surprise us or something like that. Spoke can come up with some more magic once again.
He always does.
I mean, if there's something that I really want, I'm not worried so much about playoffs because either way, if you make it, you're not really going to make much of an impact anyways.
You saw that last year.
What I want is to finish. I want to feel better about Yakuchonis. I want to feel better about Ware. I want Pallel Larson to stop getting hit in the face. I want things to kind of, I want it to end where at the end of the season, I'm like, okay, dude, they weren't that good, but man, Khalil Ware kind of turned the corner, and Yakuchonis, man, for a draft pick in his first year, he played well because right now what he's doing is eye-opening. It's fun to watch.
You want to say there's a future. You want to say my team has a future. The Dolphins are resetting the future. The Marlins never go into the future. The Panthers showed us when Tkachuk and Barkov are out. The young kids are pretty damn good. They showed there is a future. That's what you want to see with the Heat.
Yep. All right, what do you got going on the Sentinel so folks can check you out?
Well, I wrote my story. Now we're waiting on extension time for Norman Powell. I know how you feel. We'll see how the Heat feel. Does he play it out? Does he go to free agency? The one thing is when you're a good soldier, the Heat do tend to reward you. So I'm curious about that. And in my Ask Ira feature, the Heat have the 3rd easiest schedule left in the Eastern Conference. Of course, the Heat have also lost to Utah and Sacramento and Indiana. So can the Heat maximize the schedule? That's in my Ask Ira feature at sunsentinel.com today.
All right, follow him on Twitter at Ira Heatbeat and catch his work there at the South Florida Sun Sentinel. We'll catch up next week, Ira. Thank you.
Catch you back on the road. Season resumes and our Acura Pembroke Pines report. Thanks, Big O.
Thank you, sir. There you go. Customer appreciation sales event is going on right now, baby. The 2026 Integra, $239 a month, 2.9% financing for 60 months. The ADX, new model the last couple of years here, really sharp car. ADX is the 2025 model, $239 a month, 1.9% financing for 60 months. Take advantage. This is crazy. The RDX 2025, $369 a month, 3.9% financing for 60 months. The TLX Tech, $389 a month, 3.9% financing for 60 months. Get on down there, 15601 Pines Boulevard, just off of I-75 in Pines. Finest dealership in the business, baby. It is Craig Zinn's Acura of Pembroke Pines.
You've been listening to the Acura of Pembroke Pines Miami Heat and NBA Report with Ira Winderman. When you're looking for award-winning service and great deals from the #1 volume Acura sales dealership in the Southeast United States, you go to Craig Zinn Acura of Pembroke Pines at 15601 Pines Boulevard in Pembroke Pines.
Right. Good stuff there. And by the way, not for nothing, never financial advice or anything like that. But I think the second half of the year is going to get ugly with interest rates, with all kinds of stuff. So, again, never financial advice. But if you can take advantage of anything nowadays with a very low interest rate, do it. Because I think some real rough waters are going to end 2026 and into 2027. Really, really bad. So, just saying. Anyway, we shall see what we shall see. Let's get to our 3A Graphics sports calendar. The one and only Alan Blanco, 786-618-1443 for custom printing and embroidery. Well, the Miami Dolphins have broken some news. They have released Bradley Chubb. Miami will save $7.3 million in cap space, but they will suffer $23.8 million of dead cap space. Also, the University of Miami yesterday defeated NC State 77-76 to go 9-3 in the ACC. They're 20-5 on the season. Jay Lucas with wins against number 11 UNC and NC State over the weekend. By 1 o'clock, we should find out the new AP rankings, and I expect the Canes to crack the top 25. Tuesday, tomorrow, they will take on Va-Tech at 8 o'clock at the Watsco Center. True Washington with those big 3 free throws at the end of that game to make it 77-76. Clutch moment for True Washington. In hockey, the USA with 2 wins, 6-3 over Denmark and 5-1 over Germany to win Group C and advance to the quarterfinals starting on Wednesday. Panthers, by the way, because of that, they're off till February 26th. That's a Thursday. They will take on Toronto at 7 o'clock when they come back from the Olympic break. Fort Lauderdale United played to a 3-3 draw against Brooklyn FC. Ella Simpson, by the way, scored in the 90th minute. Jasmine Hamid scored in the 64th. And Abigail Hugh scored in the 30th. Abigail will join us tomorrow on the show. She had a goal and an assist in the game. Saturday, they hit the road. They're in Tampa Bay to take on the Sun FC. And in basketball, NBA action All-Star Weekend. The Miami Heat's own Kashad Johnson wins the dunk contest. That is your 3A Graphics sports calendar. All right. There we go. Oh, man. Oh, Miami is looking good. What Miami? Oh, UM. Okay, basketball. Yeah, they are. Yeah, they are. They definitely are. No doubt about that, ladies and gentlemen. No doubt about that. All right. Don't forget Cash App or Venmo at Cash Big O Show. That is Cash Big O Show. Cash App or Venmo. Bitcoin, by the way, is at 67,647. So we got a little dip here. We're down almost 2%. The markets aren't open today because obviously it's President's Day. So tomorrow the markets will open, I would imagine. It seems like we're going to be opening in red right now, unfortunately. Let's see. Okay. By the way, I trip out on the NFL report cards and how the big stink it's created because certain owners didn't grade well, and so they were raising a stink about it and all that. To me, I don't really give a shit about NFL report cards. They mean nothing to me whatsoever. 2 years ago, Miami was number 1, and they don't win anything. And Kansas City was dead last, and they win championships. When the University of Miami was winning all their championships, especially the first 4, in a short amount of time from 83 to 91, when they won 4 championships in 8 years, okay, that's dynasty right there. They didn't have the facilities of Oklahoma or Florida or Florida State or Alabama or Michigan or Ohio State or USC. Yeah. They didn't even have the money that those teams had that they could throw behind, under, around the table, whatever it is. They didn't have those kind of resources, and yet they won a bunch of titles. They didn't have, all the kind of crap that they have nowadays. Nothing. No budgets. No. To me, it's, when the Dolphins won titles back in the day, they were practicing in places that had rats and roaches and stuff. I don't give a shit about that. I don't care about your stupid little report cards. That's your problem, not mine. You know what I care about? Results. And last time I checked, the Dolphins get no results. And it has nothing to do with having great facilities, obviously, or shitty facilities. You know what it has to do? With having great coaches and great players and great schemes and intelligence and preparation. That's what it takes. It doesn't really matter who gets pampered and who doesn't. I mean, Oregon has had the best of the best forever. Hey, Sean, how many national titles has Oregon won? 0. Oh, but wait a minute. But Sean, they have 47 different uniforms. They have 8 practice facilities. I think they have a spare stadium that's hiding under the original stadium just in case that one gets destroyed by an earthquake or something. Phil Knight has another one that will come up from the ground, brand new. They have everything there. They have everything you could ever possibly want in Oregon. How come they don't win a championship? Just one. Just one. Oregon players have everything. Each of them have 47 pairs of shoes, for sure. They have 107 hats. Yeah, for sure. No doubt. They buy all their clothes at Men's Warehouse. Everybody's fitted. They got suits galore. They got everything. They got massage therapists. They got 2 to each player there. They got everything at Oregon. Each player has their own secretary and media relations person. And they still don't win shit. In fact, from what I heard, they limo every player around to practice, to classes, to everything. And they still don't win shit. How about that? Oregon pays for your baby mama. And they still don't win. Everything's done for you at Oregon, and they never win anything. They're great at choking. Oh, they're fantastic at that. Just like the Dolphins. So I don't want to hear about your stupid little NFL facilities grades and all that. None of that means anything. You know what I want? Results. How you get them, I don't care. I don't care if you have the worst facilities, the ones that are mediocre, the ones that are average, the best. It doesn't matter to me. Do you have the best team? You don't? Okay, then shut the hell up. Yes, sir.
Not really breaking news, but sources: Miami's 8-time Pro Bowl wide receiver Tyreek Hill is being released. Hill turns 32 on March 1st, recovering from a dislocated knee, torn ACL, and now will be an unrestricted free agent for the first time in his NFL career. His release will save the Dolphins $22.6 million against the salary cap, and that's from Adam Schefter.
Okay. Yep. Again, zero shock here. So as expected, none of this is, whatever. Why would you? There'll be a lot of people released, dude. And we'll see how it all works out when it's all said and done. Hey, I got to ask you guys something, because I just change a little bit off the beaten path there. The Nancy Guthrie case, Sean, they were labeling the abductors like amateurish. Did you hear about that? Did you hear that they were labeling them amateurish? Why are we 2 weeks in and they have no leads? Just wondering. I mean, if they're so amateurish. Just wondering. 2 weeks in, not close to solving it. You detained a Hispanic dude without reading him his rights for like 2 hours, and he had nothing to do with it. The guy's like, you could tell he had nothing to do with it. And, and they stopped this other car and this, that, and nothing. They got nothing. So I don't know how amateurish they were, but I guess not amateurish enough to fool the authorities, right? I'm just saying, I feel terrible for the Guthrie family. And this is obviously, sadly, you wish that she's alive and you hope so. But that woman's in her 80s, no medication. That woman, man, you're 80s. This is how you go out scared to death because they abducted you. I mean, wow, it's terrible. So feel bad for him, man. Feel bad. Anyway. All right. Don't forget, folks, Cash App or Venmo at Cash Big O Show. That is Cash Big O Show, Cash App or Venmo. And you can send in your questions, comments, insults, all kinds of good stuff. We appreciate it immensely. Rats and roaches build character. Oh, I'm with you there, bro. I'm with you. It's not the building. It is who you bring into the building. That's right, Pat in Asheville. That's right. That's right. And don't bring a stupid coach that thinks that Larry Shannon will be as good as Randy Moss. Don't be a stupid coach that trades out of the 19th spot where you could have gotten Randy Moss and you go down to 29 to get John Avery, who needs Kool-Aid in order to stay up during your meetings. That's who Jimmy Johnson drafted. John Avery, the man that couldn't stay up for meetings unless he had a gallon of Kool-Aid with a bunch of sugar. He had every flavor in his locker room. So that was your first round pick. Way to go, Jimmy. Way to go. But then again, you brought us John Dutton, Jimmy. and Jim Druckenmiller, of course, and you and your personnel director were bringing in shady people. But that's kind of the way it goes. Bringing in a wide receiver that's doing gang signs. I don't know what the gang signs were or whatever. Charles Jordan. And you're bringing in some crazy defensive end that wanted to commit suicide. It's this is what we get. They pump your gas for you in Oregon too. Look at that. NorCal has another nugget over there in Oregon, and they still don't win. Yes, sir.
Oh,
yes.
The bloodbath has begun.
I love it.
NWI released. James Daniels released.
No.
I'll keep you updated on more heartbreaking releases.
Oh, my God. What do we do now? NWI was such a huge part of this offense last year. Mike McDaniel incorporates big receivers. I mean, wow. Hey, by the way, are the Chargers going to cut their big receivers? Just checking. So now NWI and James Daniels released along with Tyreek Hill and Bradley Chubb. I like it. I mean, all expected. Give me a break, dude. They're gonna gut this thing. They have to. They have a mulligan year. This is the mulligan year, dude. This is the year where you win 1 or 2 games or 3 games, and and we understand. That's why the whole quarterback talk is so ridiculous, and I've been laughing at all of you and media members or whatever. Like, this is not the year you go for a quarterback, dude. Why would you put a quarterback on a team that's decimated? So he can die? Stupid. And plus, you're going to go get a quarterback that's not even ready. People are talking about the kid from Green Bay. Like, you really want to put him in this situation? How stupid can you be? And if they want to do it, well, then they're already going to have a knock on my eyes. I don't care about this whole thing about, well, they know him better and all that bullshit. That doesn't fly with me. Okay? I see what I see from that kid. And you don't put something like that in this situation next year. The kid's going to die. He needs to run in order to survive, and he'll be running for his life, and he's going to take a pounding, and he'd probably suffer injuries. In fact, he did suffer an injury, and he barely played. Can you imagine being in this mess? But I get it, dude. It's the off season. You got nothing else to talk about. So let me come up with these bullshit stories to talk about the quarterback and the connection with the past and the connection with the people in the front office. And let me glorify whatever comments are made and all that, because what do you think they're going to say? Negative things about the kid? No, they worked with him in Green Bay. Of course they're going to talk him up. That's what coaches do. I mean, but if you look at the product, it's not worth $30 million, and he's not even close to being finished, and he's really not that good. So, but hey, knock yourselves out talking about it, writing about it, requesting it, whatever it is. We'll see. We'll see. But if you want to take a chance on Malik, you go ahead. I think that'll be a really stupid move on your part, especially with the state of this team. Okay. Let's see. Phins will be the equivalent of an expansion team in 26, which is why they need to rebuild. Exactly. We know, Derek. Thank you. Finding the possible kidnapper's gloves 10 days after tells you all you need to know. She may be 100 yards away from her house in a grave, sadly. Exactly. And by the way, they found a whole bunch of gloves. And you know what I love about it? Well, they found gloves and there's DNA. Well, of course, asshole. Everyone that wears a glove leaves DNA. Now, the question is it the right glove? Is it the DNA of the kidnappers, or is it just some hunter out there? Is it somebody that was doing something out there, whatever it was? and they needed gloves. Who knows? They found a glove and there's DNA. Well, yeah, that's why it's a glove. Usually when you put your hand inside a glove, you're going to leave DNA. It's called a glove. It goes over a hand. What do you know? They found a glove and there's DNA. So? It's a headline is, they found the glove and there's DNA of the abductor because we have an identity. But if you don't have any DNA, that DNA in your files, then it doesn't matter. And if you found it because some deer hunter was out there somewhere and he was using gloves because he was carrying the deer or whatever dead animal or whatever they were doing, and then they threw away the gloves, well, then so what? There you go. You know, or maybe you had some crazy meth man out there mixing shit and then threw away the gloves. Who knows what was going on out there? Okay? Like, it's just... The media is so ridiculous. It's ridiculous to the extreme. And for most of us that have a brain, we usually can just kind of see through the BS. You know? Just a joke. Rusty says, the guy behind me on the flight has been nonstop bitching about the Dolphins too far since takeoff. Everything they should do, the Phins do opposite. It's the alternate universe for them. Yeah, that's pretty much accurate for all of us when it comes to them. Yeah. Joel says, Big O, I might be mistaken, but wouldn't it have been a better cap-wise to release Chubb and Hill post June 1st? Not that it matters. We'll stink regardless. Yeah, it doesn't matter, bro. Just take the whole hit. Move on already. You know, just move on. You're going to suck for the next 2 years. It's not just this year. You'll suck in 27 also. Don't let anybody, guys. I don't do this to you guys. I'm just not gonna bullshit you people. And I'm not gonna create like some false hope or all that. That's not fair to you all. I don't know why people do that. This is gonna be a rough 2 years, but it's a good 2 years, an opportunity. Like I told you all out there, don't look at it as a negative. You have to look at it as a positive. But you're not gonna be good for the next 2 years. But it's a great opportunity to draft and develop. And then in years 3 and 4 is when we find out if what Sully and Half are doing makes sense. Because then we'll have a couple of years of players being in the system and we'll feel for his coaching every day and the moves. So by years 3 and 4, we should start trending in a positive direction. But the next 2 years are about rebuilding. And we have to understand that and we have to face reality. And you're not going to just turn the corner immediately. You just can't. It's just not that I wish. I would love that. But can you imagine how many right moves you have to make in 1 year to make a real turnaround in year 2? It's unrealistic. Years 3 and 4 is where we're supposed to see the fruits of their labor. That's all. That's what I'm prepared for. We'll find out. Gus 1388, thank you, sir, for the love on the super chat. He says, Black Monday, one of the worst days in Phins history. Handsome Joker. He's a smoker. He's a toker. He's a midnight smoker. The Malik Willis talk is dumb as F. This season is meaningless anyway. Why pay anything for an unproven non-passer? You have a brain, sir. What can I tell you? Lots of others, they don't get it. But you, sir, have some intelligence. Brett Dodger, Big O, were any gloves owned by OJ, and did he ever try them on? Well, if it fits, then we can't acquit. So, sounds like another lost decade for Miami. Well, I don't know about decade. Slow down there, bro. I'm saying the next 2 years are going to be rough waters. Let's see what happens in years 3 and 4. Not decade. Oh, wait a minute. I see what you're saying because we're in 26. So kind of okay. Well, yeah, I get it now. Yeah, we're going to finish out the decade kind of lost. Yeah. I got you now. Gold Hour. Okay, you're good. Thank you, South Florida Don. Let's see. It's too early to see what their priorities are in order, but cutting Chubb maybe is telling you that the first thing to do is to get out of all the big contracts. Yeah, of course. You have to, dude. Yeah, you have to go through this pain. We have no choice. You know? We're not going to be good till 2045. Well, Franklin, I'm not going to go there, but, you know, what can I tell you? I'm hoping to make it to 100 because that's when I'm told I may win a championship. So, if I could get to 100 40 years from now, supposedly that's when AI says the Dolphins are winning a championship. So if that's the case, then, I got to hang in there for a little extra. Can you imagine if I'm 100 years old and they win the title? And so they won it when I was 7 and 8, and then they wait 92 more years for me to win. It's just not fair. Life is not fair. Oh, man. I won't even be able to celebrate at 100. I'm going to be dead and gone, but I mean, even if I got to 100, how can I really enjoy a Dolphin? It'll probably kill me. That's what's going to happen. I'm going to make it to 100. The Dolphins win the Super Bowl, and I die that night from the excitement. Yeah, that sounds about right. Yeah. Yeah, that would make sense. And that would be so Dolphins for me. Let's see. I'm 48, and I don't think I have more patience for this team. I don't blame you, my brother. I don't blame you. They're pathetic. They've been pathetic forever. They screw everything up, always. Yeah. I hope the Dolphins end up with $1 in cap money. Take the hits now. It's true. I'm with them on that. I'm with them 100%. That's why they're going to take the one on June 1st with Tua, because they're going to take all these other hits. They can't take it all at once, so they'll take it on June 1st and split it. So there you go. My son-in-law almost cursed my 4-month-old grandchild by getting him a Dolphin shirt. I grabbed it and threw it in the garbage. He shall not suffer like his grandfather. That's a good grandfather, true Fin fan. Because I think we're at a point now that if you're a parent and you get your kids into the Dolphins, I think we should arrest you for child endangerment. I think that's where we're at right now. Child endangerment, if you actually put your kid into the Dolphins. I'm glad. See, my daughter, she's just Panthers. She's kind of smart, huh? She doesn't bother with the Dolphins. She's just like all Panthers. So, that's why does she need the misery of the Dolphins in her life? She celebrates championships with the Panthers. I'm happy for her in that sense. By the way, there she is celebrating right now, lifting her arms in the air. Donna Ponte got a job. Hey, Don, you got a job. So Don is working for John Harbaugh. And I want to read to you, because we have a history with Donna Ponte here, of course. She is infamous. So the Giants have undergone an organizational transformation in recent weeks, starting with the decision to give new head coach John Harbaugh a direct line reporting not to GM Joe Schoen, but to ownership. Then came the abrupt termination of longtime executive senior VP of football operations and strategy, Kevin Abrams, followed by Friday's announcement that former NFL football chief administrative officer Donna Ponte will be the Giants' new senior vice president of football operations and strategy. In an article regarding Harbaugh's first month on the job, Ian O'Connor of The Athletic writes, another sign of Harbaugh's considerable influence in the organization, Aponte will report to him. Aponte's role sounds more like a front office function than coaching. Aponte will be responsible for strategic planning for football operations, analytics, salary cap management, player contract negotiations, compliance, and working closely with the college and pro personnel departments. She'll essentially be Harbaugh's day-to-day conduit to Shane and his employees. She'll be able to obviously take care of Harbaugh's wishes and focus on coach, so he can focus on coaching the team. She'll be able to advise Harbaugh as whether Sean and his staff are doing their jobs well enough. So as you all know, well, some of you, maybe some don't, but when Aponte was here, when the whole Philbin and Ireland and Sperano and Parcells era, and she was a part of all of that, she was ratting people out. And she was, going to the owner and ratting out Ireland or somebody else or whatever. And so this is what I told you guys when Harbaugh was getting hired, right? Harbaugh would be the end-all, be-all. So, like some of you out there, I'm sorry. Let me apologize ahead of time, okay? Because it's just the way I do things, and I'm sorry. I don't mean anything real personal by it, but I even call myself this. But you idiots out there, you freaking morons out there that really don't understand this, oh, well, they can pay him all he wants, $20 million, $30 million. Stephen Ross will write the check. And I tried to explain to you all that the money's all the same everywhere. Money, it had nothing to do with money with John Harbaugh. It had to do with what? Power. He was going to be the end-all, be-all. What he isn't in the Ravens. He didn't want personnel to control what he's doing. He didn't want personnel to have any kind of controlling power in all of this. They can make a suggestion. He can go with that suggestion, but in the end, he's going to have the final say. So whatever organization he was going to go to, he was going to be the end-all, be-all. That's what was the number one priority. It's what location he thinks is best. And then he goes to it and says, give me all the power or I don't play or I don't work for you. So it had nothing to do with Stephen Ross being able to give a lot of money. It had to do with Stephen Ross. Has he created a sexy product? And John Harbaugh clearly said, hell no, you people are fucking clowns. Forgive my French, but that's what the Dolphins are. They're a pathetic bunch, okay? They're a joke of a franchise, just like the Jets and just like the Browns. So why would John Harbaugh work for a scrub organization like the Dolphins? He's not. So he went to the Giants because he thinks they're better, top to bottom, period. Better organization, better ownership, whatever, even though the Giants have been a joke lately. But they haven't been a joke as long as the Dolphins have been a joke for decades. And they certainly aren't the embarrassment that the Dolphins are under Stephen Ross. So it had nothing to do with money for you silly idiots out there thinking that, oh, well, Stephen Ross can just cut the check. That meant nothing. It had to do with power. And the Don Aponte thing today that comes out is fantastic because it's exactly what we've talked about. It's all about power. No one is above John Harbaugh in that organization. Everyone will answer to John Harbaugh. And that's what was most important to him. The first one was, what team do I want to go to? And then the second is, what team do I want to go to and tell them, you give me all the power or you cannot hire me? And the Giants were chosen and they were willing to give up the power. The Dolphins were never, ever in the mix. Why? Because Stephen Ross is a joke. So you'll have to deal with unknowns and hope that you hit on somebody because Joe Philbin is unknown, because Adam Gase is unknown, because Flores is unknown, because McDaniel's an unknown, because Hafner is an unknown. You're not going to get the knowns anymore. Huizenga used to get the knowns, and it still didn't succeed. But you can forget about that now because Stephen Ross doesn't know how to build a franchise. And because he's a clown, this is what happens. So you won't get the John Harbaughs ever again under Stephen Ross or his little son-in-law, by the way. Danny Silman. Little Danny Silman. All right. What else do we have? Oh, the FCC found no violations to Bad Bunny's halftime show. So those idiots on the crazy right can stop? Morons. We got a lot of stupid people in our country, dude. A lot of stupid people in our country. You know what's also stupid? Michael Vick is stupid. You want stupid? I'm going to give you king-size stupid. Okay? Michael Vick, and this guy's running a team now, too. Michael Vick came out and put out his list of top black quarterbacks. And it's amazing that somebody that played in the NFL and played the position of quarterback is this stupid and doesn't understand the position of quarterback. So, Sean Stanley, do me a favor. Play Michael Vick's incredibly ignorant list of black quarterbacks.
We about to have him blind rank 7 black quarterbacks. First off, Lamar Jackson.
I got Lamar, put Lamar like 4.
Warren Moon.
Warren, 6.
Dante Culpepper.
That's my guy. Shout out to Pep. I'm going to go Pep, 7.
Patrick Mahomes.
Patrick, I'm going to throw Patrick at 1.
Cam Newton.
Cam, get the number 3 spot.
Jalen Hurts.
Jalen at the 5th spot.
And number 2.
I'm going to put myself at number 2. I got to be in the top 7 for sure.
Okay, so now let's talk about this list because Michael Vick obviously doesn't know jack shit about quarterbacks. Okay, first of all, Michael, I hope you see this video, but your ass needs to write a letter of apology to Warren Moon. Okay, my brother, you couldn't hold Warren Moon's jock. You put it this way, Michael, Jalen Hurts, Cam Newton, Culpepper, Lamar Jackson, all of you combined can't hold Warren Moon's jock. He put Warren Moon at number 5. Behind, 6. Behind Jalen Hurts, bro. Jalen Hurts couldn't hit the ocean if he's standing on the beach. So this is my problem with people that really don't understand football, and especially, bro, let me tell you something. Professional football players are some of the dumbest human beings when it comes to the history of the league. They don't know shit about the league. They don't know nothing about the history of the league. And Michael Vick proves it with his dumb, ignorant list. 1 is Mahomes, of course. That's the only thing he got right. 2, Vick, give me a break. 3, Newton. 4, Jackson. 5, Hurts. 6, Moon. 7, Culpepper. This is how the list goes. Mahomes and Moon, and that's it. Then there's a drop-off that is just disgusting. Then it starts with Lamar Jackson at 3, but it's like it's 1 and 2, and Lamar should be like at 30. Okay? And then it's Newton after him because he did get to a Super Bowl. I'll give him credit for that. Ran his ass off. Then Vick behind Newton because Vick never accomplished what Newton accomplished. Culpepper, another guy that when he lost his knee, he never could play again. And then Hurts is dead last. That guy can't hit the side of a barn. First of all, if you can't make a living from the pocket, Jackson, Newton, Vick, Culpepper, and Hurts, you ain't shit to me. You ain't shit to me. I have no use for you, Michael Vick. That's why you didn't win jack shit. I have no use for you, Lamar Jackson. That's why you pee in your pants every time in the playoffs, baby. And Jalen Hurts, You're nothing like, you're like Nick Foles, dude. You were along for the ride and you completed a couple passes. Warren Moon is a bad mother effer, bro. That's a real quarterback. Not this garbage bullshit running around athletes that can't play in the goddamn pocket. That's blasphemous, bro. That is insulting what you did to Warren Moon, Michael Vick. You're not even allowed to talk about Warren Moon. That's how much better he is than you. Mahomes and Moon are at another level completely. The rest of you jagoffs are just athletes playing the position, dude. You're not real quarterbacks. You can't make a living in the pocket. Watch Jaden Daniels. That's a real athlete that can live in the pocket. That's a real quarterback. These are just athletes playing the position. And Michael Vick, dude, like, that's some king-size stupidity on your part. Understand this, Michael. You're not allowed to talk about Warren Moon ever in your life again, bro. At all. Because it's obvious that your dumbass didn't learn shit about a position you played. When quarterbacks are so good that they don't need to run, they're better than you, Michael. Get that through your effing head. When a quarterback can't run but can do your job better than you ever will, they're better than you. So Pat Mahomes is the best, no doubt. But Warren Moon is number 2. And Warren Moon and Pat Mahomes are way better than everybody on that list. You want a big moment with a team on the line and a drive on the line? Give me Mahomes and Moon. I don't want any of the other guys. You can have all the other guys because they're not going to be able to carry me. Warren Moon and Pat Mahomes can easily carry me. Those guys are badasses. So, I saw that list and it's like I don't care about the rest of the list so much. I'll put my order of Mahomes, Moon, Jackson, Newton, Vick, Culpepper, and Hurts. That would be my order of my top 7. Okay? But to me, it's Mahomes and Moon, and then, bro, you can have the rest. You can have the rest. I only have respect for Mahomes and Moon. That's it. The other guys are just athletes running around throwing the football. They don't mean shit to me, to be quite honest. So there we go. That's my piece on Michael Vick's absolute moronic state that has no idea what a real quarterback looks like, by the way. So there we go. All right. He didn't put Randall Cunningham on the list. I would put Randall Cunningham in front of Hurts and Culpepper, actually. Now you think about it, you know what? Yeah. And maybe even Vick, I would put him in front. Yeah. Maybe Cunningham right behind Newton. Yeah, Cunningham was pretty good in his own right. I'm with you there. That's not bad. But again, bro, Mahomes and Moon, give me a break, dude. It's not even close. Those guys are a joke compared to Warren Moon and Mahomes. Complete joke. McNabb is another guy that deserves to be on that list, and he's not on that list. Listen, I'm just going over the 7 that dumbass Michael Vick was talking about. You know what I mean? Whatever. But I just lost it with the whole Warren Moon thing. Like, are you kidding me, bro? Did you watch Warren Moon? That guy was a great quarterback, dude. What he did at 40 in Seattle? Oh, I don't even want to hear about it, bro. That guy is a badass. Absolute badass. Warren Moon is, oh, my God, money. True Fin fan, Warren Moon was a beast. Moon actually had more passing yards if you combine both leagues, plus the prettiest spiral in history. Warren Moon was a great, great quarterback, dude. One of the best ever. One of the best ever. Yeah, he had a great arm. He was super accurate, smart, just a complete. Steve McNair is another one, by the way, Oscar. Nice job by you. He's another one that should be on that list somewhere, for sure. McNair was a tough guy, bro. Yes, sir.
No, just real quick for the ones on the thing, it's a social media trend thing where they give you 7 names and you have to rank them blindly.
Right.
So that's why those guys that they're mentioning over there wasn't on that list. Yeah.
Right. Again, that's why I'm saying I'm just going over the 7 that he went. But again, the Warren Moon stuff just shows me your ignorance. Like, you have no education when it comes to the NFL. Like, I have no respect for your opinion if you don't have Warren Moon at number 2. Nothing. I don't even want to hear from you. There's not a discussion here. I'm not being ignorant by closing you out. I'm just being intelligent by not dealing with your ignorance. That's all. That's the way I look at it. And nobody with a brain argues with me on this. Warren Moon is 100 times better than all those guys there. The only guy better than Warren Moon is Pat Mahomes. I have to give Pat Mahomes his credit because he can move around and a pocket passer. And he's deadly accurate and all that stuff. He's Warren Moon with a little athleticism. You know what I mean? It's what it is. Mahomes is Moon with athleticism. So I got to give Mahomes the number 1. But Moon. When you talk about the best quarterbacks in the history of the NFL, this is not a black, a white, a red, a yellow thing, a green thing, whatever. When we're just talking about some of the greatest quarterbacks in the NFL, Warren Moon has to be in that conversation. Lamar Jackson will never be in that conversation. Not in my conversation. He's not with Montana or anything like that. He's not Marino. He's not any of those kind of guys. He's just not. He's not Elway. He's not Mahomes. No, he's not Tom Brady. He's never, ever going to be looked at in my book like that because you can see it already in the playoffs. He shits his pants every time because if you shut the running game down, he's not a pocket passer, and he gets exposed every single time. So, to me, you can have Lamar Jackson. But Warren Moon, respect and a half, dude. That's the real deal. Real deal. Let's see what else. Yeah, true Fin fan. I want to say it's 60, 70, 80,000 yards that Warren Moon threw for. Yeah, dude, he played into his 40s. You know, so my 2 teams in the Super Tecmo Bowl were the Phins and Oilers. There you go. So you won with one, lost with the other. Pretty good. If I was in high school or college, I'll teach at the time. Can't turn off the Big O show. Speaking Dolphins Bible. Thank you. That's very nice of you. What else? All right. We talked about Michael's stupidity. Oh, by the way, congratulations to Jordan Stoltz, the speed skater. Stoltz won the gold in the 500 and the 1,000 meters. 21-year-old from Wisconsin, and pretty cool because we've lived, some of us at least have lived the Eric Heiden and the Bonnie Blair years, and Apollo Anton Ono recently too. And Heiden was a beast, dude. I remember he had these thighs that were like, what was the name of the Newsom guy from the Cowboys? Robert Newsom, was it? Was the big fullback that played with Dorsett? Was it Robert Newsom? And he had these ginormous thighs. It kind of reminded me of, Eric Heiden. And so Stoltz is kind of reminding me of those days when we had a dominant speed skater, and obviously winning the 500 and the 1,000 is pretty cool, man, and impressive. And you're 21 to be put on this stage and to do that. It's pretty damn cool, man. Pretty cool. I like it. So congratulations to Jordan Stoltz, and he's not done yet, right? I think he's up for is it the 1,500 next or something like that? Maybe today or tomorrow or something like that. I know the women hockey team play today. They play against the Sweden. So they play a little Sweden. Let me do a little music before I go to some more Dolphins talk. Let's see, what else do we have here? Any other releases there, Sean? Nothing so far? Okay. All right, let me do a little music before I get to my Dolphins subject that I want to also address here on the show. Let's first start off with musicians born on this date. Let's do that. All right. February 16th. Who was born on February 16th? The Weeknd, the Canadian singer. Born in 1990. He's already won 4 Grammy Awards, 19 Billboard Music Awards, 15 Juno Awards, 6 American Music Awards, and 2 MTV Video Music Awards. Unlike most of you out there, I enjoyed his halftime show in the Super Bowl. I like the Weeknd's music, but I like that performance. Again, it was kind of centered too, so people around the stadium could not see it the same way. They would have to look in the screen like they did with Bad Bunny, the same thing. But I enjoyed it, dude. I thought it was more TV produced than stadium produced, but more people are watching on TV than in the stadium. You know what I'm saying? So you're going to cater more to the TV people than the people inside the stadium. I was laughing when the people were complaining about, well, you know, if you're in the stadium, you couldn't see everything on the Bad Bunny with all the trees in the way. And I go, so what, dude? Then look up in the screen and you'll see the camera work. And big deal. Did you go to the Super Bowl to watch a halftime show? Or did you go because you're a Seahawks or a Patriots fan and you want to see your favorite team win the Super Bowl? I think that's why you're there, you know? So you can watch the halftime show when you get home and watch it on video if you want. I think it has like 100 million views already as it is, right? Dave Lombardo, born in 65 from Slayer. Andy Taylor from Duran Duran, born in 61. Pete Willis, one of the founding members of Def Leppard, then was kicked out. Drinky Winky, born in 1960. And Pete Willis, by the way, also was part of Fastway. Let's see what else. 59 for Ice-T. Tracy Morrow, born on this date. John Bradbury, drummer with the ska group The Specials, born in 53. Just once, can we figure out what we've been doing wrong? James Ingram, born in 1952. Yamo be there. Let's see who else. Sonny Bono, born in 1935. Rest in peace. We lost him in 98. He was killed in a skiing accident, dude. And that's it. Oh, wait a minute. Hold on. Oh, Patty Andrews. You guys remember Patty Andrews? From the Andrews Sisters. He's the boogie boogie boy from Company. Okay. Born in 1918. I had to mention that one because, you know, we have a lot of young people that wanted to know about that. All right, let's go with other birthdays. Let's see. And remember, if I don't give you the age, that means they have passed away. Musician Patty Andrews from the Andrews Sisters, born in 1918. Businessman Carl Icahn, born in 36. He's 90 today. Actor William Catt, born in 51. He's 75. Model actress Margot Hemingway, born in 54. Actor filmmaker LeVar Burton, born in 57. He's 69 today. Tennis Hall of Fame member John McEnroe, and guitarist sometimes for Scandal. Born in 59, he's 67 because sometimes he'll go on stage and sing with his wife, jam with his wife, Patti Smythe. So when Patty's on tour, sometimes John may come out of the. When I was in LA to see Patti Smythe, John McEnroe came out of the crowd and sat in for 2 songs with Patty. Let's see what else. Celebrating birthdays today. Actress Sarah Clark, born in 1972. She's 54. Musician Lupe Fiasco, born in 1982. He's 44. Actress Elizabeth Olsen, born in 1989. She's 37. Musician Daniel Haim, born in 1989. He's 37. Musician Ava Max, born in 1994, 32. Actress Chloe East, born in 2001. She's 25. Sean Stanley, do you have wrestlers born on this date, sir?
Yes, sir, we do. Shunji Takano turns 62. Hiroyuki turns 59. Chip Danning is 38. The great Alan Angels turns 28. And the current CCW heavyweight champion, the Vampire Warrior, Gangrel, turns 57 on February 16, 2026.
By the way, somebody put there Doug Williams. That's another one that should be on that list. But he's too young to even know Doug Williams. Because if he didn't give Warren Moon the proper respect, how's he even going to know what Doug Williams is? Okay. Doug Williams is a pretty good quarterback, dude. All right, let's go with music history. What happened today in music history on February 16th? Well, in 1974, Bob Dylan reached number 1 in the Billboard 200 album chart for the first time with his 14th studio album, Planet Waves, which spent 4 weeks at the top of the charts. In 1975, Cher started her own weekly music and comedy show on CBS. The singer had co-hosted the Sonny and Cher Hour with her former husband, Sonny Bono. Cher's new show featured a woman guest each week. And by the way, the performances on that show, if you go back on YouTube and see some of the artists that she would have on and sing with and all that, pretty damn good, dude. It's pretty cool. In 1982, Simon and Garfunkel released the first live album, The Concert in Central Park. It features the single Wake Up Little Susie. In 1985, Bruce Springsteen went to number 1 in the UK album charts for the first time with Born in the USA. The album produced a record-tying string of 7 top 10 singles. In 1985, Careless Whisper started a 3-week run at number 1 on the U.S. album charts, credited to Wham and featuring George Michael, a precursor of Michael's solo career. And remember, when you watch the video Careless Whispers, the building that is used there, the building with the white balconies all over, the roundish building, that's in Coconut Grove. That was the building used for Careless Whispers video. In 1988, The Church released their 5th studio album, Starfish, masterpiece. It features the singles Under the Milky Way, Reptile, great song, Destination, excellent song, and Antenna. It's just a really good album. I saw The Church a few years back, and they played that album in its entirety, which was just so cool. Saw it over at the Culture Room, and to see it in a small venue, intimate like that, very cool. Very cool. In 91, David Lee Roth peaked at number 18 on the Billboard 200 charts with A Little Ain't Enough when it went gold in the U.S. In 2003, 50 Cent was number 1 on the U.S. album charts with his debut album, Get Rich or Die Trying. In 2007, Britney Spears shaved her head at a salon, then got some fresh ink at a tattoo parlor. It was beginning of a public meltdown for Spears, who filed for divorce from Kevin Federline months earlier and was negotiating custody arrangements for their 2 children. And since 2007, Britney Spears has been a model citizen that acts normal every single day of the year. She just sold her catalog. Her music catalog, she just sold it for, I think, like $150 or $200 million. Clearly, the poor woman is broke because she lives still an extravagant lifestyle that she cannot afford. So she's going through her money like it's nothing. And as you all know, as we've explained for years on this show, money is dying. And money is worth less and less and less. That's why it takes more and more and more of it to buy the same things that you always used to buy. but it takes more and more because money's worth less and less. So this poor woman is running out of money and quickly, and she won't tour or anything. She can make some money touring because people will go see her. I mean, she dances for free on her IG. She can do it without knives. In 2011, Lady Gaga's Born This Way made history, becoming the Billboard Hot 100 chart's 1,000th number one single. In 2018, Brandi Carlile released her sixth studio album, By the Way, I Forgive You. It features the singles The Joke and Party of One. Sometimes this will have a couple of names that I did not mention in birthdays. Otis Blackwell, American songwriter and producer who wrote I'm All Shook Up, Return to Sender, Don't Be Cruel, Great Balls of Fire, Fever, was born today in 1931. I think he wrote some pretty big hits. Wow. Okay. Damn. Let's see who else. Damon Reese, drummer from Spiritualized, is 59. I have no idea who he is, but I mentioned it anyways. And Coffee is 26. Coffee with a K. Again, don't know who he is, but we'll go with it. All right. By the way, Dee Snider has addressed fans out there because Twisted Sister was going to go out for a 50th anniversary tour, and unfortunately, the tour will no longer ever take place. Dee Snider has had to retire because of health issues, but he wants fans to know the rumors have run wild that I'm on my deathbed. I am not. I just can't do the things I did in my 20s, 30s, 40s, 50s, and even 60s, all right? Otherwise, I'm alive and well. I'm enjoying life. You won't see me on stage kicking ass like I used to because that will mess me up. He continued noting his gratitude for fans who sent messages of support. Thank you very much for cheering me on. I'm okay. I just can't do that anymore. And you know what? The truth of the matter is, I don't want you to see me up there being less than what you expected me to be. You've got memories of a great show. You've got memories of a great show that I did. That's what I want to leave you with. And to me, I agree with that because this is why I try to stay away from acts that have already passed their prime. Because once I see them, then it's kind of, damn, dude, And I try to warn you guys too all the time, don't I? Hey, he can't sing anymore. She can't sing anymore. Don't do this. You're going to waste your money and all that. So I try to warn you guys ahead of time. I'm with him. I've seen Twisted Sister. I saw him in their heyday. And Dee Snider is a presence. And if you can't be that presence, you can't be Dee Snider, then don't be it anymore. And if you're in your 70s, I understand, bro. Everybody's time comes and goes, man. Yours, mine's, Dee Snider's, everybody. There'll be a time that I cannot do this show the way I do it now, where I've been talking for 2 hours and 24 minutes straight. No commercial breaks, no nothing. It's constant talk, which most people cannot do. Can't. They need commercial breaks, a lot of them, long ones, reset and all that. You know what I'm saying? There'll come a time 5-10 years from now, I won't be able to do this anymore because it takes a lot out of you to be able to do this and do it with energy and passion, which is what I always do. I don't come on here with a monotone voice and shit like that. And, I hear people on radio that have this monotone voice, and that is some, you're going to put people to sleep. Right? So, unfortunately, it comes a time for all of us, and his is here. His is here, unfortunately. Nancy Wilson, if you have not seen Heart, now I will warn you, Anne does not have the same power she's had in her past. She still sounds good, but Nancy says that now she wants to make one more Heart album and take a victory lap to celebrate the band's half century of legacy along her sister Anne. I go through phases now. Right now I'm in a phase of feeling like creating some new songs, and I've got songs going on, But I feel like this is the perfect time for Heart this year, next year, to make a victory lap out of our legacy. So I figure we need to make one more Heart album. So if you guys want to see them, it's worth it. Anne still sounds good. Not the same power, but she still sounds good. Nancy still wails, and she looks great and sounds great. I would suggest, if you've never seen them, to check them out one more time. Yeah, I've seen Heart a bunch. And then Gene Simmons has been in the news. And I got to tell you something. I disagree with Gene. You know, he's talking about how rap doesn't belong in the Hall of Fame. And then he says, so when is Led Zeppelin and Jimi Hendrix going to be inducted into the Hip Hop Hall of Fame? Because there is a Hip Hop Hall of Fame. And there's a Rock Heavy Metal Hall of Fame also, by the way. But the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame, and this is where Gene has lost it, and he doesn't get it, and he has to adjust. And some of you, by the way, do the same shit. It's not the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame just because it's called that. It's really the Music Hall of Fame. That's why they allow all kinds of genres of music. And rap has become a genre of music. Just because Gene doesn't like it, that's all right. Gene also doesn't like big heavy metal or rock guitar solos. He likes to keep them simple and short in his band. It's kind of the way he is. You know, he had one guitarist that wanted to like really wail, and he was like, no, we don't do that here. So they have their way of doing it, but he's wrong. Because Madonna's in there, and it's not the rock and roll. It's the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame, and Madonna's in there. Does she deserve to be in there? Of course she does. So if you're going to allow the Bee Gees in there, and they deserve to be in there, and you're going to allow Madonna to be in there, then rap, of course, can be in there. And it does end up sounding and looking biased on his part. Okay? So it's pretty sad. Sean, did I give you wrestlers? Did we go to wrestlers today? Oh, we did. Okay. I don't know why I thought I skipped it. Okay. But yeah. Anyway, so I just thought the whole Gene Simmons thing is completely out of line. Okay. It's not the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. It hasn't been the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame in forever. It's really a music Hall of Fame. And plenty of people deserve to be in it, even if you don't like some of their genres of music. And rap certainly deserves to be in it. They made a rap Hall of Fame. Good for them. And they made a rock and heavy metal Hall of Fame. Good for them also. And they've got a country. Why? It's hard to get all those genres right. And they're all not going to get the due they deserve in the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. So they created their own. And I have no problem with that, dude. No problem. I went to Vegas where it's not a Hall of Fame, but it's called a punk museum. And I understand that because a lot of punk bands aren't going to get any credit in the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame, but a lot of punk bands deserve their own love and their own recognition, especially for their genre of music. So that was a cool thing when I went to the Punk Rock Museum in Vegas, because it gives me an opportunity to kind of, delve into that entire genre of music, which I can't say that I like all of it. I only like some of it. You know what I mean? Rap, do I like all of it? No, dude. There's a lot of new rap that I cannot stand. That mumble rap bullshit and that, what's that stuff they use with their voice or whatever, all that. Yeah, I don't want any of that. That has not, that I'm not a fan of any of that crap. What can I tell you? But there's some that I do like. Lupe Fiasco, whose birthday is today. He's one of the new rap guys that I do like. I enjoy. I've gone to see him in concert and everything. But to take the credit away from rap or whatever, like Gene wants, and that they don't belong there, of course they belong there, dude. It's become a genre of music that's part of our society. And it's stuck around a lot longer than punk. It wasn't like where punk came in and went, where surfing music came in and went. Didn't happen with rap, baby. It came and it stayed. And it's locked in. And it's one of the biggest genres of music in this country. So how is it that they don't deserve to be in the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame? Of course they deserve to be in the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. Stupid, ignorant on Gene's part. That's my 2 cents. Okay. So you see the headline on the show today. Well, Miami Dolphins cut Bradley Chubb. Okay, we talked about that. But the other one, it says Phins and Heat need the same remedy to fix their problems. And I was thinking about this over the weekend, and we talk about it in 2 different languages because they are 2 different languages, but they're the same thing. And what is wrong with the Heat and what is wrong with the Miami Dolphins? The same thing is wrong with both. Neither one has a foundation. So how do you build a foundation? Well, it depends. If you're the Dolphins, you have to cut bait from all the dead salary, trade whatever you can, get as many more picks to add on top of all the picks you have over the next 2 years. And then you turn this thing around by drafting the right people, cleaning out all the dead cap money over the next 2 years. And then you can move forward to develop your foundation, your culture, and hopefully start winning down the line. Correct? That's what you got to do. It's what the Dolphins have to do. In order for them to get out of this, it's not about going out and buying a quarterback right now. That's stupid. It's about getting rid of everything that's dead weight. It's about being really good in the draft over the next couple of years so you can set your foundation. You got so many extra picks. You have 3 third-rounders this year. This is a beautiful opportunity on your first or third rounds to really nail it and set yourself up. And if you can hit someone the third day, that would be awesome. And then next year, you're going to have a couple of extra picks, and then you're going to be able to do the same thing. That's what you got to do. They both need to build a foundation, but they go about it differently. Whereas the Miami Heat now have failed in how to build their foundation. They had a chance here in the deadline to get rid of some people and get some picks. Now they won't be able to because some of them will be a free agent at the end of the year and they'll lose out on them. So that sucks. Okay? You had an opportunity to try to create something out of this, and you didn't. I don't care if it was trading Rozier and get back some dead weight, but a second-round pick or something in return or something like that. Somebody might have been able to give you that because you were dumping their salary, and then you're opening it up for them, and they can give you a pick or something. I don't know. Anything. You could have traded Wiggins. You could have traded Powell. You failed. You could have traded Bam. You failed again. Tyler is useless right now. You got to build back his value, so I get it. But you had opportunities. It's interesting. The Dolphins and the Heat are in the same spot. They have to go in different directions how to rebuild, but they both have no foundation. And the only way the Heat are going to get a foundation is by getting as many picks as possible so they can get into the lottery, so they can pick high in this draft and hopefully get a star, not this draft, but in future drafts. And then at the same time, they get the picks so they can possibly trade for someone, and maybe there's a young star that becomes available, and all of a sudden you've got an opportunity to add a young star because you have the picks. Now you don't have the picks and you don't have the opportunity. But it's interesting that the Heat and the Dolphins are in the same spot. They both need to build their foundations because their foundations are weak. The Heat have no stars. They need to find 2 stars. They have none. They have a super role player, but they don't have any stars. The Dolphins, they don't have a foundation. They don't have a culture. They're starting from ground zero. But it's interesting that they both are kind of in the same spot Because they don't have a foundation, they're not going to have success. The Dolphins need a foundation and culture. The Heat have a culture in place, but they don't have a foundation. And without that, you're done. Let's see who rebuilds faster. Who heads in the right direction. Right now, I don't have any proof of this, but it looks like Sullivan and Hafley have the better idea of how to go about this because they're already showing me that they're taking the right steps. Whereas I just watched the trading deadline pass and I watched the Heat continue to make mistakes. So the Heat and the Dolphins find themselves in the same situation. Build that foundation. Well, the Ollie man is here. There he is. He snuck into the studio, so I picked him up. This is Ollie, if you've never met Ollie. If you haven't seen Ollie. This is my short-haired Chihuahua. He is an adorable and lovable little guy. This is my therapy every day. Life sucks sometimes. And so when you have a rough day, you come home to this, and that's it. He hangs out with his tongue constantly out. He always has his little tongue sticking out. It's a cute extra that comes with my boy Ollie. Anyway, so there you go. Let's see. For some who don't understand, this is all bad. For others, it's right move to get rid of all these big contracts or any player. Yeah, definitely true, Fin fan. You have to, for sure. This is the right move. I like this. You don't need any of these people to move forward. So yeah, you gotta tear the scab off. Definitely. Trade the 11th pick. We'll see, Frank. I have no idea, my friend. We're going to find out. We'll see what happens throughout the offseason. We'll see who has declared for the draft, and then we'll find out about all the nicks and nacks and nuggets and history of people and all that. And then we'll figure out, is it worth staying at 11 or do you trade down or whatever? We'll see. Either way, there's no hurry. The Dolphins are going nowhere. You know what I mean? It's all about development. It's kind of like the way I look at the Heat. I just want to see young guys. I don't care about Bam and Tyler, and I don't care about Powell and Wiggins. I know what they are. I need young guys. You know? So, yeah, that's what I want to see. I think he'll effed up Waddle with his crappy attitude. Well, we'll find out. We shall find out. He definitely polluted him with that taking the plays off crap. I think Blue Dodgers, a little shout out to Ollie. Thank you. That's my little boy. Yes, Jack, he is adorable. He's adorable, lovable. He's perfect in every way. Every way. Do you think Chop can play in a 4-3? Yeah, I think he could. I'd rather have him in a 3-4, but I mean, probably not ideal because his size may not be ideal. You probably want somebody a little bigger, but he's quick enough. He might be able to get away with it, but I would rather have him in a 3-4. I think that's where he fits better. You know, if we're going to be honest. But yeah, I think he could. Wouldn't be preferred. But yeah, I think he could. Yeah. But I'd rather have Chop in a 3-4. We'll see. We'll see what happens, man. We'll see what happens. Let's see. I had a little Chihuahua like Ollie. Really missed my boy, but ended up getting a golden retriever puppy. Charlie was who's 100 pounds. Well, I've had golden retrievers, and you know they have the best hearts I have ever seen. My little dog Ollie has that kind of heart, but my Carolina dog, which I've never had a Carolina dog in my life, Bono. My God, he is the angel of all angels. He has exactly the same demeanor Pegasus had. Pegasus was our golden retriever. We only had him for 8 years. He got neck cancer. killed me. And Pegasus was the sweetest thing in the world. I mean, golden retrievers, as anybody that's had a golden retriever, you know what I'm talking about. The golden retrievers are we don't deserve golden retrievers. Okay. They are beyond human beings. You know, that's how golden a golden is. Right, Ollie? He came back. Let's see. Phins need to accumulate. That's right. I agree. Big O saw Night Ranger on Valentine's Day in Melbourne. It was a great show, like you said. And Vick isn't that young. If I'm not mistaken, he's in his mid-40s. I mentioned Doug Williams. He should know him. I don't know. But, you know. Dude, when you put Warren Moon at number 6, like, I have no respect for you. None. I have no respect for you at all. Warren Moon? And the fact that he goes, I got to put myself at 2. Like, you think you're better than Warren Moon? Like, Michael, do you know anything about Warren Moon? Because you're not even close to Warren Moon, dude. It's crazy. I'm based so many who are more loyal to being right than the logo. I'm all logo. There's only one player I put above, and he's been retired for 26 years, loyal to the logo, the old one. That's right. The real one. Right, Ollie? So we got to go, Ollie. Say goodbye. Bye-bye. We thank Ira Winderman. We thank Sean Stanley. We thank all of you that tuned in. Hit the like button. Thank you. Smash that like button before you go. Ollie says bye. We appreciate you all out there. We'll see you tomorrow live from Hialeah Park at 2 o'clock, 2:30. 2:30 tomorrow is the start. A little later start tomorrow at 2:30. But, of course, same time, same place, same Ollie channel.
This is the Big O Show. This is the Big